within the board's ambit. I will not interfere in that, and I will respect the board's path that it is taking and their commitment and determination to see a speedy process.
McPherson says Malaka was ordered not to leave Gauteng without informing the board, neither to communicate with IDT officials during her suspension. The meeting with journalist Peter Louis Myburg took place in the company of her spokesperson in Stellenbosch.
I think it's safe to assume that those two may have already been violated by her being here the day after with an official from the IDT.
McPherson says he's delivered the forensic investigation report to the police to supplement its investigation into the complaint he's lodged. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
A woman who confessed to killing her boyfriend's 4-year-old daughter has revealed that she initially pleaded not guilty to all charges because she was advised she would not be convicted. The High Court in Johannesburg heard again the accounts of how Amberly Hughes murdered Nada Jane Chalita. Hughes admitted to drowning the little girl in a bathtub after an argument with the child's father in 2023. Her lawyer, Marius Bauer, explained that Hughes made her initial plea based off what she was told.
The aspects, and I don't want to deal with it in detail, but my instructions is that she was advised that she should plead not guilty and that the probability that she will be convicted is non-existent.
An Israel Security Cabinet has approved a plan to take control of Gaza City, a move that the United Nations warns could risk catastrophic consequences. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the military aims to control the entire strip despite intensifying criticism in Tel Aviv and abroad over the devastating almost 2-year-old war. Israel launched its war in Gaza following Hamas's 7 October 2023 attack in which it killed about 1,200 people and took more than 250 back to Gaza as hostages. Israel's massive military offensive has killed more than 61,000 Palestinians. The announcement comes as Israel faces growing international pressure, including from its allies, to end the war in Gaza and allow more aid into the territory. World Health Organization Chief Tedros Ghebreyesus says that 99 people are known to have died from malnutrition in the Gaza Strip this year.
These reported numbers are likely underestimates. Diseases continue to spread, fueled by overcrowding and deteriorating water, sanitation and hygiene conditions, severely affecting the youngest.
Gold is trading at $3,394.63 an ounce. The rand is at 17.73 to the dollar, 23.82 to the pound, 20.66 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $66.34 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident in Sandton along Grayston Drive. It happened right after Catherine Street. It's causing heavy delays. Please be on the lookout there. While traveling towards Harton, another accident seen on the M1 North, right at the Harton Drive bend. It's also causing delays.
And in your sport, European champions PSG lead the Ballon d'Or nominations. New Zealand take control of the second test against Zimbabwe, and South Africans leading the way in the golfing world.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng, Johannesburg starting at 4 degrees, peaking at 17, Pretoria 6 and 19, Vereniging 3 and 17 as well. The top story in EWN this hour, Minister in the Presidency Khumbudzo Ntshavheni has not ruled out a possible review of the hefty US trade tariffs.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko are back, celebrating local business, backed by you. Submit your nomination now on primediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 6 o'clock. Welcome to the show. It's the 8th of August, the day before Women's Day in South Africa. It's the year of our Lord, 2025. Good morning to you, 702 landers. My name indeed is Bongani Bingwa. Where are you? In Pretoria, in Sandton, Vereniging Vanderbijl Park, Germiston, Roodepoort, Centurion, Krugersdorp, Kempton Park. Wherever you are around the world, we are the station that aims to reach you. Our job is to tell you what's going on in the world You tell us what's happening in yours. On our menu today, we start off with Tsidi Madia and the political desk looking at the week that was. After 8 o'clock, we've got Nana Pir, the head of corporate client group at RMB, joining us to talk about G20 and what we can expect when that summit hits the road. I mentioned Women's Day. Joe Thomas is coming to the studio. We spoke to Anthony Hamilton just yesterday, and there was that fabulous press conference that Relebohile Mabotja hosted so well yesterday. Should I ask him what makes him cry? Joe Thomas? I want to know. I want to know what makes him cry. And then just before 9 o'clock, one night only with Sfiso Kanyile at the Market Theatre. It's a show!
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Yeah, right. It's a show without the song. Are you kidding me? I'm not alone, of course. My colleagues are here with me in studio. We've got the producers Karabo and Siamtanda and Robfiwa in the booth. And of course, KG starting the clock. People always ask, where's KG start the clock? So if you're watching our YouTube stream, KG is the one behind all those computer screens. He's standing up. He's wearing a black sporty. And every now and again, because he refuses to go to his optometrist, he'll squint when he's trying to look at the monitor to make sure he can see things clearly. That's KG start the clock. So if you look at that white shot, you'll be able to see KG start the clock. Amoramela is here. Good morning.
Good morning, Bongs. Morning 702 Landers.
Muteo Haripe is here.
Morning, Bongs. Morning 702 Landers.
All right, I've had my warm water with ginger and turmeric and cayenne pepper and black pepper and garlic and lemon.
Wow.
Guess why? Because it's a what? It's a one. It's a 1, 2, 3.
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday. It's a Friday.
I hope you're singing with us. You see the difference?
None of us are Joe Thomas.
You see,
Zero.
That's enough to make any of us cry, right? Welcome to the show. You can talk to us on 011-883-0702. We can, of course, listen to your WhatsApp voice notes on 072-702-1702. We're taking it easy. We'll still obviously focus on the important conversations that are to be had. And the idea is by the time you get to your place of work or wherever it is you're going to be headed to on your commute this morning, you've got a sense of what's going on around you.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
So we have a shout out every morning on 702 Breakfast. And really the idea is to illustrate something that's happening in the news cycle, but we kind of enter that conversation in a very personal way. So here's a question. What was your most unbelievable pinch me moment, pinch yourself moment, something that happened that was a particular highlight? Maybe it was in your personal life, right? But there's nothing for men who get married. There's nothing like watching your partner coming down the aisle, knowing that when you leave this venue, this church, whatever it may be, this is now going to be your wife. And I'd imagine for wives, there's nothing as you walk in and you just see that smile. Most grooms cannot contain it. There is that smile as she walks in. There's that sense of, okay, she's here. It's still happening. Maybe that was your highlight, right? Your pinch me moment. Maybe it was when you went to Home Affairs and signed off that civil union partnership that you never thought would happen to you. Watching the birth of your kids, particularly your first child. I suppose if you're the one pushing out that first child, it may not feel, right? It may not feel quite as delirious as that. I think the happy feelings come a little later for some moms. But watching the delivery of your first child, what was your most unbelievable pinch me moment? So I'll go first, and I'll use a career one. It was So one of the things I absolutely get annoyed by is people say, oh, you look like Luther Vandross. Was once on the cover of Drum magazine. And that was, I thought, really? It annoys me because I never know which version of Luther they think I look like?
Explain what you mean.
The bigger Luther or the slimmer Luther?
Luther's Luther, man.
You know? But there I was, about to interview him. This is around 1997. I was at Channel O. And they're doing the last touches of powder and makeup so that the interview can begin. Of course, start with him because he's the star. And the makeup artist is doing final touches on me. And there's a monitor. And he's looking at this monitor. And just out of the blue, I mean, my mouth, my lips are closed. My eyes are closed. He says something as a throwaway little joke. He says, "Oh, gosh, I'm looking at that monitor." And for a moment, I thought, did I lose weight? And that obviously confirmed that he also thought I looked like him. But it was a bit of a pinch me moment, Luther Vandross saying that to me.
So you don't get offended when somebody
I didn't get offended when he said it. But when you say it, it's like, big guy, no. Hey, big guy, no. There was another moment. I was at the Cape Town ICC. I think it was for a jazz festival. So Friday night me, right? Not working mode me. I'm going, either I was going up or he was going down, but these escalators are going opposite directions. And there's Trevor Manuel, and he goes, "Hey, Bongles." And I just thought, hi. But it was just like a little pinch me moment. Do you have one such moment? Send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072 702 1702. We'll take your calls on 011 883 0702. Muteo, do you have a pinch me moment?
It was one of the best video calls I'd ever had on a phone, right? So Yama was sick for like 3 weeks. We had just come back from a very, very cold holiday, and she had the flu, but she couldn't just get better. So we go to the doctor, and
I'm just going to interrupt you for anybody who may not know. We're talking about Mrs. Kharipe.
Yeah, that's my wife, yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, they take her through all sorts of tests. Now we're getting worried, and they're like, they have to check all sorts of things. But I have to go to work now because we'd gone to the doctor in the morning. And I'm like, you know what? Call me if anything happens. I'm 5 minutes away. Let me know. The next time she calls me, it's the ultrasound. She actually doesn't put her face there. It's the ultrasound. And I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I'm at the gynae. I'm pregnant. And that was just one of the first moments I was like, okay, wow. Life is really happening.
Wow. I'm at that age. Yeah, it's one of the best. It's one of the best phone calls you could ever get. Amoramila, your pinch me moment?
I was watching Oprah Winfrey Show after school because that was like the best program to watch, right?
Yeah.
And
we were all at home by 5.
yeah. And the launch of The Pursuit of Happiness is the topic of the day. And Chris Gardner is in studio talking about the movie, his life, and how excited he was to work with Will on this movie, as well as Will's son, right? And then a couple of months later, the UJ in Soweto has been revamped, and they've called all these great dignitaries to come and open this beautiful campus now, you know. And there's a delegate of people who walk in. I see Dr. Naledi Pando, and she's welcomed by a very beautiful song from the school's choir, and it's really, really amazing. And among the delegates, I stand up, right? And I was like to my friend, no, look, there's Chris Gardner. And none of my friends know who this guy is. I'm like, how do you not know Chris Gardner? I stand up and I just waved at him, right? As I wave, Bongani, he comes to me, he gives me a big hug.
Oh, man.
And he says to me, I didn't know that people in South Africa, especially as young as you, would know who I am. And I said, how can we not know? And we just had a young chat, but it was just like a pinch me moment. And I was just so humbled.
Amo wins.
Yeah, Amo wins.
10-0.
After all those stories.
10-0. 10-0. If you've got a pinch me moment, please let us know about it. It's a Friday. Let's end off the week on a positive note. We'll tell you why we're asking that question coming up.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
With all the doom and gloom in the news, the Minister and the President, Sikhumbuzo Ntshavheni, not ruling out a possible review of those hefty US trade tariffs imposed on South African exports. Muteo, I understand the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, spoke to the US President, Donald Trump. We understand that happened on Wednesday. So it would appear there is still some wiggle room. All's not lost.
Yeah, as government has been saying, I mean, the talks are ongoing. They expect to have a deal, if not now, at a much later stage. But I think they've
breached that point where we couldn't, that I wouldn't call it a ceiling, but we couldn't open the door for us to speak on trade. But I think we're there now.
I wonder how much private sector voices are now playing a role in those behind the scenes discussions. I'll take you back to that conversation I had with Stavros Nicolaou.
Yes,
right?
yes,
And how he just wouldn't commit to anything. And I got the sense, something is cooking there.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
All right, 17 after 6 o'clock. Mattel, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know this morning, how do you consume music these days? Are you still the person who has cassettes and record players? Do you rely on the radio and you have a favorite top 40, top 20 show? Or do you just stream on your phone?
Stream.
How many music streaming platforms are you on?
Just iTunes.
Okay.
Yeah, just iTunes. Because I think ultimately the difference is much of a muchness in terms of what, say Spotify may have.
Yeah.
You either have one or the other. I don't understand people who have both. I'm actually increasingly using a lot of YouTube, funny enough, especially when I'm at home, because at my ripe old age of 50, I've just discovered Tiny Desk.
Oh, wow. What a nice
Yes, I know.
discovery.
It's been apparently. I was told the other day it's been there since 2008.
Yeah, but it really became big during COVID because people could now sit through the small
Jonga, I
concerts.
love Tiny Desk, and I've been watching all of them and catching up. Maxwell's has been the best for me so far, but a lot of these young artists who are doing Tiny Desk, Billie Eilish, Yeba, I'm enjoying that as well. So, streaming YouTube. Amo?
Well, iTunes, but my husband insists on paying for Spotify for me, so he pays for both of us, although I don't really use it, as well as YouTube. And I also just like listening to the radio and hearing the announcer in the background, like saying this is who they did this, and I still enjoy that. I wouldn't say traditional way of receiving music.
You want to hear them Sasazi?
Yeah, I still want to hear the
Msasazi.
broadcaster, the presenter saying, "Oh, I've seen this person perform." I enjoy that as well. So I'd say all platforms.
I struggle with music radio in many respects because I think it's often a lot of younger people.
There's a range, Bongani.
Not
There's
all
a range.
music radio,
Mm-hmm.
not all music radio, but I find some of the stations who use a lot of younger people. Gosh, there are times I want to just
Everyone's
crash
gonna
my
say you
car.
don't like young people.
I love young people. That's part of my problem.
702.
Weather.
20 minutes after 6 o'clock. What conditions can you expect on this Friday? A little bit warmer than earlier in the week. Temperatures peaking at 17 in both Joburg and Vereeniging. Pretoria, your high is 19. Cape Town also maxes at 19 degrees. Bloemfontein, 18. Bombela and Richards Bay, 21 and 22 respectively. Durban also 21. So most of the country peaking there about 19, 18, 20. That's the same for Gqeberha and East London.
EWN Traffic.
All right, let's have a first look at the roads. Amo at 20 after 6. What are you seeing?
Well, we start off with an accident in Sandton along Grayston Drive. It happened right after Catherine Street. Delays coming out of the M1. There's also an accident in the Harton area along Harton Drive, right near the M1, also causing delays. And if you're traveling out of the south of Joburg, specifically El Dorado Park, please be on the lookout for delays on the Golden Highway between Union Avenue and the N1 due to misty conditions along this route. So please drive with care, keep your headlights on, and keep a safe following distance. We'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. 702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the
Good
talk.
morning. I think my biggest pinch me moment was shaking hands with Mr. Nelson Mandela when his son was in the same cancer ward as my mother. It was he was a big guy. He was he's a lot taller than you think. But yeah, that was my pinch me moment.
Yeah, anybody who is outside of politics who had even 2 seconds with Nelson Mandela will remember that as a pinch me moment. I've got a picture of myself, Madiba, and Peter Kirsten. You may remember, not Peter Kirsten, not the...
Gary.
No, not the cricketer.
Oh.
Oh, goodness me. Keith Kirsten. beg your pardon, Keith Kirsten. And it was an Arbor Day function, and Keith Kirsten, of course, is the famed horticulturalist who, in fact, used to have a number of nurseries at the time. And the thing about Keith Kirsten is that he looks like F.W. de Klerk. So everybody, you always used to think I was in a picture with Madiba and F.W. de Klerk. And I've shared the story before. So before you come for me, who is it? What's his name again? Pizzo. Pizzo is going at me on the live chat on YouTube because you're telling that Luther story again. So before you come for me, Pizzo, I've told this one too before. Was at an Arbor Day function. So it was around this time in August 1993. We were planting trees in Alex. I just won the speech competition. Keith Kirsten thought I was a young person with a big, bright future. Come join us for Arbor Day. You're a young speaker. You're an inspiration to other young people. But Nelson Mandela is the cherry on top. You'll get to meet Nelson Mandela. Of course, I said yes. Why would I not? And the fashionable thing at the time were these paisley shirts. They used to call them paisley shirts. So these bright colored things. And you'd wear them with corduroy pants. And if you were really lucky, you'd wear LA Gear sneakers. That was the look, right? Madiba is there. It's bright sunshine. We're planting trees, for goodness sake. He's wearing this crisp white shirt with a tan suit and a brown tie. So I've always joked, and maybe I should post it. I think it's somewhere in my Instagram in like one of the early pictures, if you can check it out. Maybe I should post it again. But I've always said that's where he got the Madiba shirts from my paisley shirt.
Please.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I was there.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Friday, we're having fun on the show. 24 minutes after 6 o'clock. Things you need to know at this hour. And we'll chat to Tsidi Madia about this coming up, by the way. The Public Works Minister, Dean McPherson, has laid criminal charges against suspended IDT executives, the CEO, Tebogo Malaka, and the entity spokesperson, Pasha Magolane, for allegedly trying to bribe a journalist to suppress corruption reports. And that case, of course, will use that video audience. You remember we played audio for you a little earlier in the week. But they're also citing procurement irregularities, violations of finance laws, and McPherson has ordered a full investigation and emphasizing media freedom and accountability. I don't know if you saw those tweets that were trying to smear him, McPherson, saying that he had tried to bribe a journalist and was putting pressure on this young black female executive when it turned out the shoe was on the other foot. Now, why are we asking you about your pinch me moment? This week, the last 2 weeks, you could argue, have been one of the most inspirational sporting stories of the year. Victoria Mboko. Right? Victoria Mboko. That's a name you're going to keep hearing and hearing and hearing and hearing. She is a teen tennis sensation. She's 18 years old. She's Canadian. She is from an immigrant family that relocated to the States. And then when she was very young, they moved to Canada. So she's now Canadian. And she grew up as a tennis player, wanting to obviously succeed at the very highest levels. And she was obsessed, she says, with the Canadian Open, which, of course, is her home tournament, the biggest tournament, at least as far as tennis is concerned, in Canada. And this week, or these last 2 weeks, she's had this incredible run at the Canadian Open, beating Grand Slam holders to get to the final. She defeated 4 Grand Slam champions to get to the final, to play with her absolute hero as a child, Naomi Osaka, whom she defeated yesterday, winning the 2025 Canadian Open.
The maiden of Montreal. At just 18 years of age, Victoria Mboko completes a magnificent run to her first tour title. And that's even more special, because she's done it in front of her home fans. What an incredible story she has written through the last 12 days. And the final chapter will take some beating.
I think she cannot believe what she has just done in front of her home crowds. unbelievable story and unbelievable ending to this story.
I want to thank Naomi for an incredible match. I've always looked up to her when I was really little, so it's always great to play with such an amazing player like you.
She played a childhood hero and she won. She ended last year ranked number 350, and there's every likelihood now she has just stormed into the top 50 in terms of world rankings. Victoria Mboko, I thought, was an inspirational story, and there she was with her own pinch me moment, winning the Canadian Open. We're going to be speaking about the extent of climate change in the world view a little later on. Asia facing deadly extreme weather with record heat waves in Japan, South Korea, and Vietnam. And 8 victims of a helicopter crash in Ghana, including the defense and environmental ministers, were received with military honors in Accra yesterday. The crash occurred en route to the Ashanti region, killing all on board, including top government and security officials. And Beyonce's Break My Soul hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 on this day in 2022. It was her first solo chart topper in nearly 14 years. Not since Single Ladies had she had a number 1 hit.
702.
The newspapers.
All right, Swiso Zulu, let's look at the newspapers. What stories are grabbing your attention?
It's a story in the Mail and Guardian, Bongani, about how passengers on a bus in Brazil were left shocked after a woman died on board the bus of a heart attack, right? And that's not even the interesting part of the story. So she had been struggling to breathe for a while, and obviously people called the paramedics. Paramedics came, and while they were trying to help her, get medical attention, they found 26 cases of iPhones glued to her body. Right? So she had her clothes, but underneath there were these 26 iPhones glued to her body.
So she was a smuggler of some sort.
She's a smuggler of some sort, but more than that, police came to try and investigate. They opened her belongings to try and find out her identity and all of that. When they opened the suitcase, they found bottles of alcohol. And it does turn out that she was part of like a smuggling operation syndicate that has been operating in that city in Brazil. So imagine dying.
And the pressure just became too much, eh?
Yes.
Gosh.
Trying to commit a crime.
Her heart said, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Wow. Gauteng school guards in limbo, says the Sowetan, the front page of Anthony Hamilton. And Vusinova, of course, performing tomorrow at that Women's Day concert with 702. The Business Day, ANC donor loses out. This is about winning the lotto bid. And the Citizen is asking, are we losing this war? This is campaigns around gender-based violence.
EWN Business.
All right, Muteo Khalifa wants to know, how do we consume music? Who still uses cassettes and record players, or just relies solely on the radio for music? Most of us, I would say, were probably on some or other streaming app. What prompts the question?
The world's largest music streaming service, Spotify, says it's raising prices for music lovers who like to listen to their music without hearing adverts. Spotify has announced price increases for its monthly premium subscription plan. While South Africa has avoided price jumps in recent years, this time around the entire African region is impacted. In 2025, Spotify continued to dominate the music streaming market with an estimated 32 to 37% market share. Following Spotify is Apple Music, Amazon Music, and YouTube Music, who hold a significant but smaller market shares ranging from 10 to 20%.
Hold on. So if you're playing your playlist on Spotify, you'll just randomly hear an ad unless you're on the premium package.
Yeah. So that's how they try to get you on the premium package.
Wow. I'll stay on iTunes. Thank you very much.
In 2025, Spotify continued to dominate. Following Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music were up there amongst the top streaming platforms. As of June 2025, Spotify has over 696 million monthly active users, including 276 million paying subscribers. These users have access to a vast library of over 100 million tracks, 7 million podcasts, and 350,000 audiobooks on the platform. So the next time the monthly payment for your Spotify Premium subscription comes around, you'll not be paying 64 Rand 99. This time it will be 70 Rand per month. And of course, the price increases for those dual plan costs where you have 2 or more people on the platform, or the family plan, which is at 119 Rand. Spotify increased its annual revenue by 17.9% to 15.6 billion euros. It has tripled its revenue in the past 5 years. That's 322 billion Rand.
A part of me is thinking the very concept of streaming music is a kind of pinch me moment. If you grew up with records and CDs and cassettes,
and doing it yourself,
it actually really is a pinch me moment of its own. Where's the rand?
17 Rand 73 cents against the US dollar, 20 Rand 68 cents against the euro, and a 23 Rand 83 cents against the British pound. The price of gold at $3,396 an ounce, or platinum, is up 0.5% at $1,348. Brent crude now at $66.35 a barrel. More business after 7.
Mr. Zulu, good morning to you. Here's a question. Are we in this province running out of medicine?
Well, it doesn't seem to be the case, Bongani, because the Gauteng Health Department has assured the public that medicine across its facilities remains consistently available. The DA in the province says the medical supply depot responsible for distributing medication is facing delays in rolling out essential medicines. The party claims patients have been waiting for long periods to collect prescriptions from hospitals and clinics because of the delays. But department spokesperson Mandela Modiba says the department says the DA has misrepresented the information.
According to the National Department of Health monitoring dashboard, Gauteng is currently the best performing province in the country regarding medicine availability. On average, hospitals in the province maintain a 95% availability rate for all formulary medicines and 98% availability for essential medicines.
A fifth witness will be called on to testify in the Lusikisiki mass murder trial in the Eastern Cape today. Yesterday, a crime scene expert from the SAPS National Office who was deployed to process the deadly scene shared his testimony. 6 men are accused of planning and carrying out the hits on 18 relatives and community members during a gathering last year. The suspects will appear and return to the Mthatha High Court sitting in Lusikisiki. They've been charged with murder and be in possession of firearms and ammunition related charges. Nhlanhla Mabaso reports.
So far, the state has led evidence from 5 witnesses in the matter. However, it remains unclear as to how many more witnesses are to be called due to safety issues. This week, the state led evidence from 3 witnesses without any delays and glitches, as experienced last week. This is something the families of the victims have welcomed. David King speaks on behalf of the families.
As far as the witnessing process is concerned, we are happy that it's ongoing now. It doesn't look as if there's any hiccups.
Yesterday, a crime scene expert detailed the gruesome scene and how he processed it as he gathered evidence. Most of the defense lawyers did not cross-examine the witnesses. A new witness will today give their statement to the court. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Lusikisiki in the Eastern Cape.
Environmental activists are calling on government to immediately set aside oil giant Shell's Northern Cape ultra-deep oil and gas drilling projects. The Department of Minerals and Petroleum Resources authorized the project a month ago. Environmentalists, Green Connection and Natural Justice have highlighted concerns, saying the approval could be unlawful. Carlo Peterson takes a look.
Legal advisor for the Green Connection, Shahil Singh, says Shell's environmental and social impact assessment report for its ultra-deep oil and gas drilling project along the west coast appears to be riddled with flaws.
The oil spill blowout response plans, which are the documents that tell us how Shell would respond to a disaster, were not even included in the assessment.
Community outreach coordinator at the Green Connection, Neville Van Rooy, says government should be moving away from the use of fossil fuels. Petroleum Agency South Africa says it will respond on behalf of government in due course. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 3 and 6 degrees, peaking at highs between 17 and 19.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the Golden Highway. This is between Union Avenue and the N1. This is due to misty conditions along this route. So please drive with care and keep your safe following distance. If you're traveling in the Sandton area, we've got an accident reported. It's along Grayston Drive. It happened right after Catherine Street. Delays from the M1.
The top story this hour, the Gauteng Health Department has assured the public that medicine across its facilities remains consistently available.
702 delivers
on the matters that matter to you.
Hi, this is Craig from Kempton Park. What an amazing experience, I must say, especially visiting, people behind the scenes. There's a lot of amazing people that we don't know about behind the scenes that's working very hard to serve you, the listener. Very, very impressed with everything that's going on. Fantastic studios, very professional setup, trendy, vibey. It epitomizes everything that this radio station does, and definitely it is the radio station for the people.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
so we can deliver more on what matters to you.
702 listens.
Let's walk the talk.
For women's sports to private equity in entertainment, the Prime Media Sport and Entertainment Masterclass brings world-class learning to South Africa. Harvard Business School's Professor Anita Albaser will unpack the New York Liberty's WNBA turnaround, Redbird Capital's bold move with Paramount, and AC Milan, and so much more. It's happening on the 11th and 12th of August at the Maslow Hotel. Tickets available now on Ticketmaster.
To live wealthier, you need to be able to grow your assets. At Standard Bank Private, you get a team of internationally acclaimed financial experts to advise you on local and global investment strategies. Plus, being with a leader in home loans, you can start expanding your property portfolio. So, come live wealthier with Africa's best private bank. Apply online at standardbank.co.za. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Unfold extraordinary with the brand new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 5G 512 gig. Get it on a 6 gig Red Core plan from 1,749 per month over 36 months and double your storage with Vodacom, Mzansi's winning 5G network. Enhance your deal. Add 149 extra per month and get the Galaxy Watch 8 eSIM and Galaxy Buds 3. Available in-store and online. T's and C's apply. Further together. Vodacom.
Welcome to the brand new days.
Sail the world with Norwegian Cruise Line, with more to see, more to do, and more to enjoy. Plus, upgrade your holiday with NCL's More at Sea for premium beverages, specialty dining, and much more. Think international cruising. Think NCL. For the best deals available, visit ncl.com or contact your travel agent. Restrictions apply.
Welcome to the brand new days.
Every Thursday on 702 Breakfast, Old Mutual Corporate tackles the tough questions around South Africa's retirement crisis and how to change the future we're heading toward within the world of work.
So last year, you recall, we were on the cusp of the two-pot system, and there was a lot of buzz in the industry around how that's going to happen. We're a year down the line now, and this year's forum is really about driving more collaboration between employers, industry, and policymakers to turn these insights that we started to get from the two-pot, or even the data we had before, into how do we change this retirement crisis that we have in South Africa. So we're really spotlighting the sustainable solutions that can be used.
The Old Mutual Thought Leaders Forum, Thursdays between 6 and 9 a.m. Brought to you by Old Mutual Corporate on 702.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani and team. My pinch me moment, unfortunately for me, it was when I got hijacked, when they took my car on gunpoint and some money. What I saw at that time, because of how aggressive they were, was just death. So when I saw that, these guys really have just dropped me in the middle of nowhere, but at least I'm alive, because I actually overheard when they were planning to kill me, and then the other one was arguing, saying, no, let's just leave him alive. So I was like crossing my fingers that they leave me alive, and fortunately they did. But later on I found the car. Thanks. This is Courage in Pretoria.
Hi Bongs, my pitch me moment was when Global Citizen was hosted in South Africa. I saw everyone that I saw on TV live with my eyes. I saw Oprah Winfrey, Pharrell, Tyler Perry. I saw President Cyril Ramaphosa and all the dignitaries, presidents of other African countries. I saw Beyonce, Jay-Z in one day. I'm counting. I even saw Barnabas Lechanyane. I saw Mutsepe. Yeah, that was my pinch me moment.
Good morning, Bongani and team. Happy Friday. It's Adila. My pinch me moment will be when I see my crush and he's smiling at me. I just can't help but smile back, and then I act silly and clumsy around him.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. It's Refilo here from Etridgeville. Bongani, my pinch me moment, it was when I was told I was pregnant 27 years ago with my son, who turned 27 actually yesterday. I was told I can't have children. You know, I've done everything and we've been everywhere. We've tried everything, and we were told I can't have children. And then that year that my gynae called to say you're pregnant, that was really, it was unbelievable. My family was very happy for us. It was just the most beautiful time ever. Thank you, Bongani. Have a wonderful day, all of you guys. Bye.
Hi, Bongani and the team. I think it was on the 4th of April this year, and that was a pinch me moment of my little boy. He was 10 years old then, and the reason it's because he featured on your Whis quiz. He can't remember that day even today. Of course, he didn't do that well, but he promised to come back. So, yeah.
All right, well, let's hope he can win the 10,000 Rand when he does, right? So many of these stories, going to the Global Citizen concert, seeing all those stars. Every time you see your crush, I had to figure out what crush, and I thought, okay, all right. I mean, hopefully their crush feels the same way at some point, right? That they're equally excited whenever they see you. Courage had a bit of a... I mean, I appreciate that you survived. I mean, obviously a hijacking. I can't imagine anything worse than to hear people discussing whether they think you should live or you should die. I love these pregnancy stories, and I always wonder what they teach us, right? I know of a couple, and I think the mom was, or the wife in this instance, was approaching her 50s if she wasn't even already over the line, and they still wanted to try for kids, and because they got married later in life, or she did. And they tried IVF, they tried all sorts of things, and nothing worked. And eventually the doctor said, look, it's not going to happen for you guys. And they almost gave up on that dream, and they went home and life carried on. And a few months later, she fell pregnant without any expensive treatments, without the pressure for it to happen. It just kind of happened, right? And I think the doctor said, look, that's a very common story, because so often it doesn't go well because everybody involved is just too anxious. And I always wonder what it teaches us, those kinds of stories. Your best pinch me moment.
EWN Sport.
So Cindy Paluta is going to be out for a week or two. We welcome back Anthony Teixeira. Always great to see you. Always great to have you on the show. You know, I'm going to ask you your pinch me moment, right?
Yeah. Bongani, mine is probably the 2017 Super Rugby final that was at Ellis Park. The Lions lost to the Crusaders, but it was sort of walking out the media booth, right?
Yeah.
And you can just see the whole of Ellis Park completely packed, and just realizing, holy cow, I'm here. It was sort of that moment that it sent a chill up my spine, and that's when I decided, no, I have to be fully committed to this, because I'd only been in sort of covering sport for like 6 months at this point.
Yeah.
And here I am at a final,
yeah,
watching it take place. And even though they did lose the Lions, it was just one of those surreal moments. It was very much my moment.
You thought, okay, I'm here.
And then also,
I'm in the room.
It was probably also meeting Cindy, because she was genuinely, I'm saying this and she's not here, but she was genuinely my hero. Like, she was everything. I listened to her bulletins nonstop. I had recordings of her bulletins. And that was just, when I sat down and she did the interview with me to sign up for EWN, sort of just sat there, caught my breath. I'm not even going to lie. I didn't have words. It was
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. All right, tell us, who are the hottest footballers on the planet?
Well, I think we all know who that might be. It's PSG. With the Ballon d'Or nominations coming out yesterday, they have an outstanding amount of players there. 9 players in total, in actual fact. Leading that is, of course, Ousmane Dembele, who's a favorite for many, as well as youngster Desiree Doué. Also featured in the shortlist is Egyptian and Liverpool star Mohamed Salah and teenage sensation Lamine Yamal.
Think of all those players who left PSG because they didn't think that was the club that was going to get them to glory.
Yeah, and only one of them is nominated, Kylian Mbappe. The others, yeah. In the women's side of the draw, we have England having 5 players on the list of the European success. 2 Africans among the elite athletes. It's Zambia's Barbara Banda and Malawi's Temwa Chiwanga. The winner will be unveiled September 22nd, while Barcelona have stripped Marc-Andre ter Stegen of the club's captaincy, with defender Ronald Araujo set to take the armband duties. The goalkeeper, who underwent back surgery at the end of last month, has refused to sign a form releasing his medical data to La Liga and allowing the club to classify him as a long-term injury case, therefore deducting a part of his pay from their official wage bill. In cricket, it was an eventful opening day in the second test in Bulawayo. After winning the toss and electing to bat, Zimbabwe struggled to come to terms with conditions. They were all out for 125 runs in their first innings, and then New Zealand stepped in. The Black Caps carved out a 49-run lead on 174 for 1 thanks to half centuries from Devon Conway and Will Young. And in goal for trio of South Africans, Martin Foster, Alton van der Merwe and Tryron Snyders are joint leaders at the first round of the Eswatini Challenge. Meanwhile, South Africa's Richard Stern leads by 1 shot at 5 under par at the Scottish Open. He felt conditions were unpredictable.
Quite a wake-up call when I got here on Monday and Tuesday with that wind blowing at the speed it did. But yesterday it showed how beautiful it is, and I think the golf course has got a lot of good things about it. It's a tough golf course, and if the wind can stay like it is, it's quite playable. But I think if it gets a bit windier than this, it becomes really tricky. So,
Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
The brainy kids of the Whis Quiz.
On 702.
Morning Radio 702. My name is Khomalema and I'm 10 years old and I go to Midrand Primary School. When I grow up, I want to be a doctor and I'm very excited to play the Whis Quiz with Uncle Bongani.
Oh, we can't wait to play with you too, Dr. Khomalema. Dr. G, will you win 10,000 Rand?
EWN Traffic.
All right, this Eyewitness News Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. There's a crash in Sandton, Amo.
That's correct, Bongani. I'm actually looking at a message that's just been sent to me. The accident is on Grayston Drive, right as you head towards the M1. So it happened after Catherine Street and it's causing heavy traffic volumes. The other direction of this route is also affected. This is due to onlookers as well as peak time delays at this time of the morning. So please, if you're traveling in the Sandton CBD, be on the lookout and drive with care. While on the Mike 1 North, we've got bumper-to-bumper delays. This is between Boyson's Road and Carr Street, and this is due to peak time delays there. There's also queuing traffic along the N1 North between the N12 exit and the Golden Highway. This is in the south of Joburg, the Nichirina area. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like a man wearing his finest suit on his way to an interview. He's prepped 100 times, but he still has butterflies. I've got this. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's a potential lucky break that could change someone's life. Every story's different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
The National Lottery keeps creating big winners. One lucky Powerball winner scooped the jaw-dropping jackpot of over 124 million Rand on Tuesday after playing through their banking platform. Play any National Lottery game and stand a chance to win life-changing jackpots. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old or play responsibly. eTuba is a proud operator of the National Lottery.
Ah, choices. We love them. Like a Jator dealer asking you, so which one do you like? And you're like, Do you like the bold, stylish, head-turning Dashing from 4,999 per month? Or the adventurous 7-seater X70 Plus from 5,199 per month? Both. Because yes, choices. Book your test drive at jetor.coza and make an excellent choice either way. T's and C's apply. Jetor. Drive your future.
In a world where everything is instant, some things are worth slowing down for. You took the time to build a life of distinction. Every moment, every milestone, every decision. At Indwe, we take the time to understand your world and craft insurance solutions to protect it. Because true peace of mind is the greatest luxury of all. The right insurance starts with a conversation. It starts with helloindwe.co.za. Indwe Risk Services is an authorized financial services provider.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? Brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. You WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702 if something piques your interest in the show. So send us an answer, and of course, a little later, someone else will ask a question to win 2,000 Rand. You always stand a better chance of being selected if you have SMS'd out to Outsurance and got yourself a quote. So do it now. SMS out to 45142. And you could save on your car insurance.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whis Quiz on 702.
Let's give away some cash, shall we? Humulimo is 10 years old. I beg your pardon, 10 years old. She wants to be a doctor later on in life and goes to Midrand Primary School. Humulimo, are you ready to play?
Yes.
KG, start the clock. Spell the word color.
COLOUR.
Correct. True or false? July is a winter month in South Africa.
True.
Correct. How many eardrums does a normal person have?
2.
Correct. Which country is in Africa? Burundi or Belize?
Burundi.
Correct. What is 90 divided by 2?
Pass.
45. Give the past tense of the word win.
1.
Correct. Complete the saying. He made a song and what about it?
Wrote about it.
Dance. From which province are cars with the letters FS on the number plates?
Pass.
Free State. What is South Africa's national flower?
King Protea.
Correct. Which South African city was formerly known as Port Elizabeth?
Pass.
Gqeberha. And we've run out of our 60 seconds. So that's all the time we had for that. You walk away, Humulimo, with a fantastic 600 Rand. 6 correct answers. 600 Rand is what you walk away with. Congratulations and well done.
The brainy kids of the Whis Quiz
On 702.
702.
The Political Desk.
Such a treat today because all our guests are in studio, including the one and only Tsidi Madia for the Political Desk. Do you have a pinch me moment you can tell us about, firstly?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning on YouTube. I was trying to think about when I heard you ask the question. I'm like, what could it be? Is it meeting Bono from YouTube? Is it bringing the president to Prime Media? Is it interviewing former President Thabo Mbeki? Actually, I think my pinch me moment is going to Nkandla, having dinner with former President Jacob Zuma, actually getting the interview I wanted when we didn't know it would happen, and driving out about midnight and going, did that just happen?
What did they serve?
Did I have dinner? I think if I remember, we had stew, rice and stew. And I was like, did I just sit at the dinner table with Zuma at his home?
Yeah,
really random.
Come on,
Yeah.
Miguel. Come on, Miguel. All right, let's talk politics. The Communist Party, South African Communist Party, confirming its plans to contest 2029 general elections independently of the ANC. Is this a divorce?
It's an interesting one because they both keep saying, no, it's not a divorce. We're still very much aligned. Our values are the same. At least our vision as far as what needs to happen in the country is the same. But the fracture that you're seeing unfolding around the SACP's need to contest elections on its own this time around is actually very difficult to manage. And I think what's been interesting for me is seeing an ANC take a different tone. In the days leading up to that NEC that they had last weekend, people were saying, yeah, we must question why they're allowed to have dual membership. And we must question about deployments because there are people who are in the SACP who are ministers. Your Gwede Mantashas, your David Masondos, Bladen Zimandes, your Buti Manamelas. These are people who are part of the party, who are serving in the executive. And so there were question marks about what must happen with these people. But I think it's interesting hearing the ANC change the tone going, it is up to the SACP. There's nothing more that we can do. We need to figure out how to manage the fact that some of them are in leading structures of the ANC and are part of the strategies around elections. But it isn't the tone of they must go away, they're an albatross.
Yeah.
It's realizing that you need every number when you go to elections.
I suspect Gwede Mantashe gave somebody a call. That would be my thinking of it. Possibly the most explosive story this week has to do with the suspended IDT CEO and that attempt at bribery. Now, Minister McPherson laying a criminal charge.
My jaw, I must first say, was on the floor. The brazenness of what we saw happening with Peter Louis Myburg is absolutely shocking. I did speak to the minister yesterday, and he absolutely, I mean, again, also expressed his shock at just actually seeing it. Because he said he believed that there were question marks. He had suspicions of things going wrong, but having the proof being given to you, seeing a video, and somebody caught in the act that way was quite surprising, especially when you consider that he himself says he faced threats. Then there were also allegations that he was interfering, if you think about it. You've had
They
Action
accused
SA.
him of going after a young black woman.
Hey, the fall of a black professional. And I was looking at that as well, where I was saying to somebody, Tabako Malaka's fall should not be tied to black professionals. That's not fair. You need to actually treat corruption and criminality exactly as what it is. Don't drag the rest of us into that mess. And that is something that was happening. But anyway, so he's always believed that there's a greater campaign. He's compared it really to the state capture, the period with the Guptas, and what we saw happening as far as the alternative truths were concerned. And he's raised questions around political parties' involvement and particular leaders. Of course, Action SA had complained, and EFF had laid a criminal complaint against the minister.
The Action SA communiques seem to be getting it wrong quite often. I worry for them about that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on there. I think that the difficulty, Bongani, is that we are headed to elections. There's the issue of relevance for all parties. And I think everybody knows that the stakes are really high. So I do think that there's something there
Yeah.
based on what the pressures are that might be where they get things wrong. I'm not sure what they were thinking around IDT.
Now, pre-COVID, there was a young couple in the ANC that were rising stars, the Masukus. One, of course, was an MEC for health, if you remember. And Loyiso Masuku now making a comeback. She's been appointed as the Joburg Finance MMC in the context, of course, of Treasury, saying to Joburg, get your act together.
So she was serving as an MMC, but at shared services. What's interesting for me about this particular appointment, the move to a critical portfolio at a time where there's so many eyes on what the city's doing wrong or right. I don't think she was necessarily Dada Morero's pick. I think he relented. He had no choice, because you need to also recognize this about Loyiso Masuku. She is his contender in the ANC and the political space for the chairmanship of the region, and I think that she actually has a strong chance of taking Dada Morero on. If you listen to different quarters of even the ANC, there's really a loss of confidence in what Dada Morero represents at both the party level and as mayor. So it's an interesting move to see what happens. The question mark I had with the statement from the mayor, because he said this is in the interest of stability, right? So he moves Loyiso Masuku to finance. He moves the council whip into the previous post she held. He's left transport wide open. Liam Jacobs is who the PA wants to fill the position after Kenny Kunene resigned. That's not being dealt with. I mean, I called Kenny Kunene yesterday and I said, what does this mean? And he said, these are ANC matters, what you're seeing in that statement. We are yet to resolve on the issue of the PA. That announcement will follow. I'm understanding that Dada Morero is quite reluctant to have somebody as young and as inexperienced as Liam Jacobs take over a portfolio as crucial as transport. But I don't think it's up to them.
And there are so many deals around that particular
That's the thing.
portfolio, right? Transport. And there's always more than meets the eye when it comes to these appointments and reshuffles. Sidi Madia, as always, excellent analysis with this week's Political Desk.
702. Coming up, the big interview.
The big interview focuses on the summit that is coming to South Africa, the G20 summit. The who's who of politics and business are going to be here from around the world a little later on. What conversations should we be having? Nana Piri from the RMB Bank will be joining us as our big interview this morning.
This is EWN.
Vladimir Putin reaches out to Ramaphosa about the possibility of peace talks with Ukraine, and prosecutors say Amber Lee Hughes changed her confession about killing her boyfriend's child. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. President Cyril Ramaphosa has again expressed support for peace initiatives that will end Russia's 3-year war with Ukraine. Ramaphosa spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin yesterday over the phone to discuss this matter and other issues of mutual bilateral interest. Presidency spokesperson Vincent Magwenya.
President Putin expressed his recognition and appreciation for South Africa's involvement in advancing a peace process between Russia and Ukraine.
Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump says he will meet with Putin for upcoming talks on the Ukraine war, even if the Russian leader had not sat down with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The statement, which contradicted earlier reports that a Putin-Zelensky meeting was a prerequisite for the summit, came after Trump gave Moscow until today to reach a ceasefire or face fresh sanctions. Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office yesterday, Trump said the ball is on Putin's side of the court to announce a ceasefire.
Is your deadline still standing for Vladimir Putin to agree to a ceasefire tomorrow, or is that fluid now?
It's going to be up to him. We're going to see what he has to say. It's going to be up to him. Very disappointed, yeah.
Minister of the Presidency Khumbudzo Ntshavheni has not ruled out a possible review of the hefty U.S. trade tariffs. Ntshavheni says while South Africa faces tariffs of up to 30% on a range of products, the door is still open for negotiations with the Trump administration. Ntshavheni was addressing a post-cabinet briefing yesterday where she gave the latest on the country's push for a more reasonable and sustainable trade agreement. Babalondenze reports.
Yesterday's post-cabinet briefing came not too long after President Cyril Ramaphosa and President Donald Trump held a telephonic discussion on the new tariffs. Minister Khumbudzo Ntshavheni says this was part of the ongoing discussions to try find a deal that will mitigate the impact on South African industries, mainly in the automotive and agricultural sectors. Ntshavheni says a review of the current tariff structure is not out of the question.
Otherwise, if there was no prospect for a review, there will not be need for a continuous engagement. So we continue to engagement because there's always prospect for review. And we're not the only country that is in that position. We are part of the others.
Ntshavheni says government remains focused on growing the economy to save and create new jobs, which includes diversification, as the country works to expand its export markets to regions like Asia, Europe and the Middle East. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News.
The state in the rape and murder case of a 4-year-old girl has argued that the accused, Amberly Hughes, expressed intent to kill the child in 2022. Hughes' legal team attempted to dispute the NPS claim that little Nada Jane Chalita's murder was premeditated. Hughes, a former preschool teacher, was arrested in 2023 after she drowned her boyfriend's daughter in a bathtub. Ndozo Kumalo reports.
As the court heard the closing arguments from defense and state, Hughes' credibility was under scrutiny. This comes after she confessed to killing the child after feigning innocence for 2 years. The court criticized the move, citing Hughes' wasted time, resulting in the family suffering prolonged trauma. Prosecutor Rowlene Bernard believes Amber Hughes had thought through the child's murder before committing it.
We know she wanted to hurt Mrs. Chalita, but that shows that she had to make a conscious decision, not just intention to cause murder, but she had to weigh her options. How am I going to hurt Mr. Chalita? How am I going to burn his heart? It did not happen on the spur of the moment.
The final verdict is expected to be handed down later this month. Ndogozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News.
And Israel's Security Cabinet has approved a plan to take control of Gaza City, a move that the United Nations warns could risk catastrophic consequences. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the military aims to control the entire strip, despite intensifying criticism in Tel Aviv and abroad over the devastating almost 2-year-old war. Israel launched its war in Gaza following Hamas's 7 October 2023 attack in which it killed about 1,200 people and took more than 250 back to Gaza as hostages. Israel's massive military offense has killed more than 61,000 Palestinians. There's international pressure, including from Israel's allies, to end the war in Gaza and to allow more aid into the territory where many are at risk of starvation. World Health Organization Chief Tedros Ghebreyesus says 99 people are known to have died from malnutrition in the Gaza Strip this year.
These reported numbers are likely underestimates. Diseases continue to spread, fueled by overcrowding and deteriorating water, sanitation and hygiene conditions severely affecting the youngest.
Gold is trading at $3,398 exactly an ounce. The rand is at 17.72 to the dollar, 23.81 to the pound, 20.66 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $66.38 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North between the Golden Highway and the Diepkloof interchange. While traveling in Centurion, we've got some delays reported on the N1 South approaching the Brakfontein interchange.
And in your sport, PSG, Liverpool, Chelsea and Barcelona shortlisted for Team and Coach of the Year at the Ballon d'Ors. Grossly in debt, Man United continue to chuck money in the transfer window. And Harry Kane returns to North London to help Bayern Munich to a massive friendly win against his former club Spurs.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg is at a low of 4 degrees, peaking at 17. Pretoria 6 and 19. Vereniging 3 and 17 as well. The top story in EWN this hour. President Cyril Ramaphosa has again expressed support for peace initiatives that will end Russia's 3-year war with Ukraine.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You know greatness when you see it. Now it's time to celebrate it. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702. Powered by Yoko. Head to primediaplus.com to make your nomination.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 after 7, it's a Friday. It is the 8th of August, the year of our Lord 2025. It's a public holiday in South Africa, of course, tomorrow as we celebrate Women's Day, looking back to that historic march way back in the 50s. But to bring things to today's issues, you've just heard now in Eyewitness News, President Cyril Ramaphosa expressing support for peace initiatives to end Russia's 3-year war with Ukraine. Now, try and connect these dots. We understand that President Ramaphosa spoke to Donald Trump, the US president, on Wednesday. We now know yesterday he spoke to the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, on the phone. This, of course, as the Trump deadline for some kind of agreement in the Russia-Ukraine situation looms. Does that then mean South Africa's much criticized attempt to play a peace broker role in this conflict is in fact bearing fruit? And if we are able to play any role, positive I assume, that would then suggest maybe Donald Trump might soften his stance against us. And what of the criticism of South Africa saying, in fact, it had a role to play, even as a country here right at the tip of this continent? Interesting, is it not?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
10 after 7, I've spoken at some length previously about this really, really awful case. Amberly Hughes, the state saying that she had in fact expressed intent to kill the 4-year-old daughter of her partner. It's a gruesome, gruesome story. This woman confessed to drowning the little girl because she was upset with her father, whom she says was unfaithful to her. So the state is arguing that this wasn't just a spur of the moment thing. She had to have plotted how it was that she was going to really dig the dagger deep in his heart and twist it. She's a former preschool teacher. I've asked the question before, if you are a parent who is on the dating scene, how and when do you know when to introduce your would-be partners, your new partners, into the lives of your children? I can't think of a more innocent potential partner than a preschool teacher. And yet, here we are. It ended in a murder of this little girl. And all this woman can argue now is that she was following the advice of her lawyers, but that she didn't really mean to do it. How do you drown a 4-year-old in a bathtub and claim you didn't mean it?
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Let's bring you up to date with developments in other news. Yesterday, the Public Works Minister, Dean McPherson, whilst outside the Cape Town Central Police Station to file a criminal complaint against the suspended CEO of the Independent Development Trust. You may have heard my conversation with Tsidi Madia about that matter in the political desk just a few minutes ago. Here is what the Minister of Public Works had to say.
As I said on social media and to the board, watching the video of Ms. Malaka allegedly offering Mr. Myburg a bribe of 60,000 Rand made me sick to my stomach and left me in disbelief. It's one thing to hear about corruption. It's another thing to see it take place so blatantly and with a feeling of impunity. This stands in complete opposition to everything that I believe in and stand for as a minister. I briefed the board on my intended actions today and to understand what processes will unfold with regards to the disciplinary case against the suspended CEO. I can therefore confirm I formally opened a criminal case against the suspended Chief Executive Officer of the Independent Development Trust, Mr. Bogo Malaka, and the IDT spokesperson, Mr. Pasha Bakhalan, at the Cape Town Central Police Station.
So that case is ongoing. I want to now bring you up to speed with what the minister in the presidency had to say about Cyril Ramaphosa's conversation with Donald Trump. There was a media briefing yesterday, Minister in the presidency, Khumbudzo Ntshavheni, revealing that our president spoke to his U.S. counterpart earlier in the week as part of efforts to boost South Africa's trade negotiations. And I wonder if we play a role in the Ukrainian-Russia matter, if it'll do us some favors.
Cabinet received an update on the framework deal with the United States of America in light of the 30% tariffs against South Africa that are expected to come into effect today, the 7th of August 2025, with the provision that the tariffs will be reviewed as soon as the two countries reach a deal. Cabinet affirmed government's commitment to finding constructive and sustainable solutions through continued engagements with the United States of America, including at a presidential level. President Ramaphosa has reached out through a phone call to President Trump yesterday morning as part of bolstering South Africa's negotiation efforts on the trade agreement.
So we spoke earlier about pinch me moments. And there are all sorts of pinch me moments, are there not? There are those that are absolutely fantastic news and you can't believe this is happening. And every now and again you listen to a conversation and you also pinch yourself for the opposite reason. I want you to listen to a BBC interview yesterday with Amal Rajan speaking to the leader of the Conservative Party, Kemi Badenoch, who confessed that she has always despised cheating, disclosing that at the age of 14 or 15, she snitched on her classmates for cheating. And this is something she's still proud of. Your thoughts on this?
I wasn't just the SWAT in the class. I was the person who would say, that person is copying notes from the other person. I was the tattletale in the class. Even then, I hated cheating because there I was. I wanted to be first in the class and I've done all the work. And then there's some people who are copying notes and saying, why should they get away with it? So I'd raise up my hand. I remember there was this extraordinary day. I was in, I must have been about 14 or 15. And I said, he's cheating. I stood up in the middle of the exam and I stood up and said, he's cheating. He's the one that's doing it. And that boy ended up getting expelled. And I didn't get praised for it. And I was a relatively popular kid at school. And people said, why did you do that? And I said, because he was doing the wrong thing. And someone said, you don't belong here, that you don't know how to behave, you don't belong here. And I've heard that all my life. You don't follow the rules, you don't do what you're supposed to, you're always sticking your head above the parapet, you're too direct, you tell the truth when you don't need to tell the truth, when you should pipe down. And I didn't belong there.
What are your thoughts on that? She's proud of that moment. Should she be?
702. Up next.
The big interview.
EWN Traffic.
16 after 7. This Eyewitness News Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amma, what's going on the N1 South?
Bongani, we've got an accident reported right after the Brakfontein interchange is causing about a 20-minute hold-up all the way towards Olifantsfontein Road, heading towards Midday. So please be on the lookout there and approach with care. Traveling in Jet Park, we've got a car stuck on the road. It's on the R21 near Griffiths Road. It is causing delays, and I'm being told about fog on the N12 East right as you approach the South Gate area. Please slow down if you can and keep your headlights on. We'll have more updates coming up.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 84. Your dog ran out of the gate and you had to chase him for 2 kilometers. Fortunately, with the outsurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The outsurance pointsman easing traffic congestion and getting you there quickly and safely since 2005. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
Step inside the business of sport and entertainment with Harvard Business School's Professor Anita Albaser at the Prime Media Sport and Entertainment Masterclass. Explore why Netflix has won the streaming wars, the billion-dollar world of Grand Theft Auto 6, the strategy of global sports leaders. It's happening on the 11th and the 12th of August at the Maslow Hotel in Sandton. Book your ticket now at Ticketmaster.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
18 after 7. So from next week, we are starting the G20 Correspondence Desk on 702, proudly brought to you by RMB and FNB, divisions of First Rand Bank Limited. And of course, as you are well aware, later this year, the who's who of global decision makers from business to politics are all going to converge on Johannesburg for a major conference and gathering that is being hosted for the first time in South Africa by South Africa. And I think it's a major boost not only for this country, but indeed for the continent. The B20, of course, is the official business gathering on the sidelines of the G20. Nana Piri, who's the head of RMB's corporate client group, has come into the studio because she recently took part in the Africa CEO Forum and has been part of key G20, B20 discussions. And we thought, let's set the scene early so that we all have an understanding of what is to come. A pleasure to have you on the show. Welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Good morning, Bongani, and the listeners for 702.
Thank you for coming in as well in person, which is absolutely fantastic. By the way, you can check us out on our YouTube. We are live streaming this conversation. Let's start, I suppose, more broadly. I have said we're going to have the who's who of decision makers globally here in South Africa, barring one or two, but let's not go there. Why is this significant for us to host?
Firstly, it's the first time ever since the start of the G20 that an African country is hosting it. And that for it to be South Africa is quite incredible. Secondly, it brings together, G20 brings together 19 of the world's largest economies in one place to come and discuss the key topics from a policy perspective. And that includes the Eurozone as well as the African Union. And then thirdly, Africa at the moment is a very key interest, a key area of interest for global powers in terms of trade and investment, and for South Africa to be leading such a G20 summit is incredible right here.
We say 19, of course, because since the Russia-Ukraine matter, the Russians have been excluded. So we're hearing the themes are what? Solidarity, equality, and sustainability. For many people around the world, in fact, not just in this country, they would raise an eyebrow at those themes because it would appear, at least as ordinary folk, those are the very things that are not happening on a global level, right? In terms of solidarity, equality, and sustainability. How do we make sure that those are not just talking points, but that can translate into reality?
I think South Africa has been, even through our history, we've been at the forefront of solidarity, equality, and sustainability. And I think this is quite powerful in terms of what's happening. And from RMB perspective, in terms of our partnership with G20 as well as B20, we really want to make sure that, we form part of the story around sustainability and solidarity. And I think just even speaking from a solidarity perspective, the fact that, the African free continental trade is there, and South Africa is pushing it as part of the key things that we're discussing from a policy perspective of how we enable economies to actually trade together in South Africa. It's quite a powerful thing.
But what I'm saying is, for ordinary folk, we see how the world's larger economies are the ones who have created the mess that requires us to have a conversation about sustainability. Solidarity isn't something that feels like it is always there, particularly with nations that are lagging behind, both economically and in other ways. And really the idea of equality in such an unequal world, how do we make sure those themes are tangible for ordinary folk?
I think very important. And I think, for South Africa to be leading it, which is an African country already, just opens up the whole plethora of things for the men on the street. And for the emerging market to be actually put on a spotlight and say, we are pushing this in a global political tensions at the moment, for South Africa to take that with the grace that it has today has been quite an incredible story for them.
Because we're going to lead this conversation differently, aren't we?
Correct. With a positive solidarity of how, if we partner together, we are better together.
You were part of the CEO forum. What are some of the takeouts that emerged out of that?
CEO forum, I think the president also attended that to launch the presidency from a G20 perspective. Critical minerals was a key thing that was discussed there from a South Africa perspective around, our transitioning program in terms of the just energy transition was the key things that we were discussing. And I've already mentioned just trading between the African countries. As you can see with the global tension around trading across globally, and it's more imperative now that the African countries actually trade with each other.
You've mentioned the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Have we taken sufficient advantage of that, not only as South Africa, but indeed as the continent? I saw an interview with Jeffrey Sachs the other day, and who says the only thing holding Africa back at this point is unity.
I think we have not to date, but I think, with what's happening in the world, all the African Union, together with the statesmen from an African perspective, are putting it top priority. And for me, I always say, it sometimes takes a crisis to drive the right direction. And I'm very excited to see that, this is driving, solidarity within the African continent, where we can actually trade with each other going forward.
So what policy reforms do we need to make that something that works for the continent finally, and not just a signed agreement from 6-7 years ago?
I think borders, in terms of trading borders. Cross-border payments, I think, is one of the critical things from a digital transformation and innovation perspective that both the G20 and the B20 are talking about. How do we facilitate paying each other, whether in local currency, which is a key thing across the continent with multiple currencies. So just policies around that, how we trade together, and two, how we pay each other within those can really be an unlock.
You are coming in, of course, as a bank in this space.
Correct.
What role do private-public partnerships play in shaping these conversations?
I think, our involvement in the task forces from a B20 perspective, they've got 8 task forces, including employment, digital transformation, infrastructure, trade and investment, of which, our group CEO is the chairperson of. And just, directing policy into those key areas can really be transformative. But I think, roles such as the bank as ourselves, we live solidarity, we live sustainability. I can give you an example of one that we could be one transaction that we really proud of, which is the transaction where we partnered with one of our clients called Liquid Telecom in the Eastern Cape, providing fiber network to the Eastern Cape communities in order to ensure hospitals and just the communities around there have access to internet and information as part of the digital transformation for inclusion.
Because connectivity is important.
Correct.
Talk to me then about trade and investment. Your CEO, your group CEO is chairing that task team. What are some of the opportunities around that?
So I think we've already spoken around the free trade. It's also just around, with the geopolitical tensions around how do we make sure that we set up, the African continent to benefit from the various opportunities, both in the north as well as in the global south, to entrench those relationships, to make sure that we're able to direct foreign direct investments into the African continent and particularly South Africa as well.
Because financial institutions have a key role to play
100%.
in this. You've got to back these projects. You've got to back unknowns.
Correct.
Take
correct.
a chance. Take a chance on Africa. Take a chance on South Africa.
Correct. Absolutely. And also just connecting the corridors, which is something that we do very well. Connecting multinationals who are looking to invest in the continent, in South Africa, and bringing foreign direct investments into South Africa is one of the key things that we are exceptional on from our perspective.
Listen, it's going to be one of those to remember, I think. We've had one or two moments like this, I think, in the last 30 years. I think when we first hosted, for example, the Global AIDS Conference, I think it was Durban, under the Mbeki presidency. We've had world leaders come to South Africa before for gatherings of this sort. This promises to be one of the most significant, and you will be there playing a role as RMB, and I appreciate
Correct.
you coming in to explain what that might look like. Nana Piri is the head of corporate client group at Rand Merchant Bank. Now, hosted in Africa for the first time, this year's G20 summit focuses on solidarity, equality, and sustainability, bringing you news and insights from the summit. So tune in, as I said earlier, into the G20 Correspondence Desk, brought to you by RMB and FNB, proud sponsors of this year's G20 summit. So that'll start next week. Every Friday you hear it on this show. And it's guided by the spirit of Ubuntu, RMB, and FNB to empower communities. RMB and FNB are divisions of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
EWN Business.
28 after 7. Let's get straight into business news now. Mateo, let's go to West Africa. MTN particularly proud of strong performances in Nigeria and Ghana, boosting results.
Yeah, usually when we report on MTN and the rest of the continent, there's usually
Especially Nigeria.
tax troubles or anything of the sort, but it seems that things went well for this reporting period. MTN's earnings are expected to surge in the first half of the year, largely boosted by the strong performance from MTN Nigeria and Ghana. MTN Group expects headline earnings per share to range between 614 and 666 cents. MTN Nigeria are reporting a strong turnaround in the first half of 2025, with our profit after tax increasing to 414 billion naira or 4.9 billion rand, while MTN Ghana reported a 55.8% increase in its profit. The group's market capitalization on the JSE now stands at 291 billion rand. The group anticipates a robust performance for the first half, driven by a strong commercial execution and improved macro conditions. Inflation and foreign exchange rates in key markets showed improved stability, and MTN was boosted as a result.
Let's talk Toyota, the motor group dropping earnings, expecting major losses from these U.S. tariffs.
Tariffs. Toyota Motor Company cut its annual guidance. The world's largest car maker says it expects a $9.5 billion hit to its bottom line from U.S. tariffs. Toyota says operating income for the fiscal year ending in March 2026 is now expected to come in weaker. The car maker's operating income in the first quarter was down 11%. Companies like Ford Motor Company, Stellantis, and General Motors are also expecting some weakness to come from the higher tariffs.
Is the Rand?
Rand at this hour still good against the US dollar at 17 Rand 72 cents, 20 Rand 66 cents against the euro, and 23 Rand 81 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $3,393 an ounce, while platinum is up 0.5% at $1,348. Brent crude at 66 cents, 29 cents. $66 rather, 29 cents a barrel. I'll have more business for you after 8.
Time now for your latest eyewitness news. Straight to the news desk we go. Good morning again. Sfiso Zulu.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Teachers Union SATU has welcomed the publications of 2 regulations under the Basic Education Laws Amendment Act. Yesterday, Basic Education Minister Siviwe Gwahube officially published the regulations dealing with issues of capacity and uniform for public comment. Gwahube has been under pressure to publish 10 policies that will govern how the Bela Act will be implemented. SATU spokesperson Nomusa Cembi says the union is still assessing the regulations and will be submitting their comments no later than early next month.
And we will be vigilant to ensure that whatever goes forth is in line with what is in the Act, that we do not deviate from what the Act says.
The Gauteng Health Department has assured the public that medicine across its facilities is still available. This is despite the DA saying the medical supply depot responsible for distributing medication is facing delays in rolling out essential medicines. The party claims patients have been waiting for long periods to collect prescription from hospitals and clinics because of the delays. But department spokesperson Mandela Modiba says the department has enough stock.
According to the National Department of Health monitoring dashboard, Gauteng is currently the best performing province in the country regarding medicine availability. On average, hospitals in the province maintain a 95% availability rate for all formulary medicines and 98% availability for essential medicines.
The alleged killers of a 7-year-old, Lolita Goa, are expected back in the Khayelitsha Magistrates Court in Cape Town today. Odwa Jack and Nokuthula Matyeseni are accused of the murder after bloodstains believed to be that of the little girl were found in their home and inside Jack's taxi. Last week, the case was postponed for the state to confirm the pair's alternative address. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
The community of Kuyasa and surrounding areas have made it clear that Odwa Jack and Nokuthula Matyeseni are not welcomed anywhere in Khayelitsha. The 7-year-old girl was murdered 2 weeks ago in Kuyasa and dumped on a site not far from her home. She was last seen playing with Matyeseni's daughter at the couple's home in Kuyasa. Lolita Kowa was laid to rest in Lady Frey in the Eastern Cape last week Saturday. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
In Australia, a court has heard how convicted triple murderer Erin Peterson allegedly tried to repeatedly poison her husband, including with cookies she claimed their daughter had baked for him. The Australian woman was last month found guilty of murdering 3 relatives and attempting to kill another with a toxic mushroom laced beef Wellington. The 50-year-old was originally charged with 3 counts of attempted murder against her estranged husband Simon Peterson, but these charges were dropped on the eve of her trial. The details of the allegations, which Peterson denied, were suppressed to protect the proceedings, but can now be made public for the first time. A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 3 and 6 degrees, peaking at highs between 17 and 19.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy delays on the N14 East. This is in the Centurion area, and that's between the R55 and Botha Avenue. While traveling on the N1 North, more traffic volumes. This is approaching the Flying Saucer interchange coming out of Botha Avenue.
The top story this hour, SATU has welcomed the publication of 2 regulations under the Bela Act.
It all starts with FNB Private. Diversify your portfolio to grow your wealth. Gain global exposure through shares or unit trusts on the FNB app. Tap into international investments and tax-efficient offshore trusts to build your legacy. Unlock invaluable with FNB Private. Help changes everything. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSB and credit provider. FNB International Trustees, FNB IT registration number 3080. Licensed by the Guernsey Financial Services Commission to conduct fiduciary business. T's and C's apply.
When you empower a woman, you empower a whole nation. Women have a remarkable way of multiplying whatever is placed in their hands. This August, we're celebrating Women's Month with the theme Building Resilient Economies for All. We reflect and honor the courageous women of 1956 who took a stand against the injustices of the past. We also recognize and celebrate all South African women who continue to lead, build, and inspire across every part of our society, from business and education to peace building and beyond. Yes, there is still much to be done. The pursuit to achieving total gender equality and empowerment will continue until every woman is able to enjoy the benefits of a safe and just society. #Rekaufela Basadi. #Women's Month 2025. A message by the National Department of Sport, Arts and Culture.
Let me get this right, Ron. You're a plumber by day and Pretoria's smoothest wedding DJ by night.
Yeah, it started out as a passion and now I've got bookings until December. And a smoke machine that needs its own seatbelt.
And you sold your car to buy a van through We Buy Cars.
Brew, it was music to my ears. Zero admin, no long queues. They pulled in, checked it out, and before I knew it, I had cash in the bank.
Now that's a banger. We Buy Cars. Geared for your passion, geared for you.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
I think integrity and honesty is so important, and sticking to your values is so important. We all want a society that isn't corrupt. We want a legal system that serves those who are seeking justice. But at the same time, we also feel uncomfortable when people, as she was saying, stick their head above the parapet and are direct and say truths when maybe socially it will be easier not to say them. I say good job to her. Well done. We need more people like her.
Yeah, I think many people will watch that and agree because, of course, we live in the society that we do and we've got the challenges that we face. How do we change it if no one speaks up?
Bongani, you think Trump will soften his stance against South Africa if he broker peace in Russia? I don't think so. I mean, like you said yesterday, the man is begging for a peace, Nobel Peace Prize. And if we take this thunder from him, I think we'll be in too much danger. He won't soften his heart. It might even harden, I think. Zuko, for Whis. Thanks.
Yeah, there's many ways to spin it, Zugo. He might say it was because of his conversation with Ramaphosa that led to whatever Putin might concede to. And so he was the puppet master behind the scenes. There's no way Donald Trump wouldn't take, or at least would battle to take credit for anything that would happen on the global stage that is significant. And if he's had even a cameo role in that, I don't think he'd struggle to find a way to take credit. It might be tricky for him to do so and still be upset with us if then it can be argued that we also played a role, even by his account, we are the Shoop Shoop singers, if you follow what I mean.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance, please tell me what is the answer to the question. Because What's the Question is brought to you by Outsurance. It's your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. So SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. Is it Jabu in Palm Ridge? What is the answer, please?
Morning, Bongers. The answer is 18 years old.
18 years old, hey? 18 years
Yes.
old. That's a great one there. Have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, I got it.
Your biscuit, 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to 702 and Outsurance. 18 years old is the answer. What is the question? Call us now on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
This EWN Sport is brought to you by RMB Corporate Banking. Ready, set, cash flow. Anthony Teixeira returns. Cindy's going to be out for the next week or so. So it's a welcome return on 702 Breakfast for you, Anthony.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bongani.
Tell me, who are the most exciting footballers around?
Well, you would have to say that it has to be PSG, as they have managed to be nominated in both the club nominees for the Ballon d'Or ceremony, as well as having their coach Luis Enrique there. We also have Barcelona's Hansi Flick, as well as the team itself, Liverpool's Arne Slot, as well as Liverpool being nominated. And we have the Blues, that's Chelsea, and Enzo Maresca shortlisted alongside Italian champions Napoli's boss Antonio Conte. The big surprise has to be the Brazilian club and South American champions, the Botafogo side, who are also up for Team of the Year. Ceremony is set to take place with the winners to be announced September 22nd. Reports out of England are that Manchester United have agreed a £73 million deal to sign Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig. If that's true and they can pull it through, it means that their spending will go over £200 million this transfer window. Last season, the forward recorded 13 goals and 5 assists in the Bundesliga. While the preseason friendly last night saw Spurs hammered 4-0 at home by Bayern Munich, former captain Harry Kane opening the scoring there. In rugby, New Wales head coach Steve Tandy wants to restore the Union to the world's top 5. He becomes the first Welshman to coach the national side since 2007, having seen them fall down the pecking order to 12th in the world and having 17 successive test losses.
I believe in the talent we have in Wales to get us to the journey we want to go, and I think ultimately there's a process to get to that as well. And with a young group, we have to nurture them, we have to connect them, we have to coach them, we have to be around them more than probably any time before, because they are a young group.
Pakistan Cricket Board have announced the provisional suspension of Haider Ali. The batter is under criminal investigation by Greater Manchester Police following an undisclosed incident which took place during the Pakistan A's team tour of England. I know, it's quite frightful.
Undisclosed incident?
Yes, nobody has spoken on it. He's set to be in court next week.
What did he do?
An 18-year-old Victoria Mboko capped up a dream run in the Toronto by clinching a first WTA 1000 title. She came from a set down to beat Naomi Osaka and win her own tournament, the Canadian Open.
I also want to thank Naomi for an incredible match. I've always looked up to her when I was really little, so it's always great to play with such an amazing player like you.
In the men's section, Ben Shelton rallied back to win his first ATP title as well. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
Feeling some lag in Sector 3?
Copy. Optimizing working capital. Ready. You're approaching a tight corner. Cash flow pressure ahead.
Low on liquidity. Supply pressure is building. Set.
Deploying cash injection in 3, 2, 1, flow.
Nice move. Better supply chain control.
Lab time advantage. Faster cash cycles, leaner inventory, and optimized working capital.
Ready, set, cash flow. Corporate banking from RMB. RMB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings.
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
I want to tell them this is Andrew from Kempton Park. Who is Mzega Zega? And is Mzega Zega going to be recording soon?
How many times have you been asked this question?
Every day.
Yeah.
I probably get it 10 to 20 times every day.
Every day. Oh, Mzega Zega.
He's a businessman.
Will he record again?
You never know. He might just put out an EP with Makazi very soon.
Okay.
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
Shisanyama isn't just food, it's culture, it's the smoke, the sound, the flavor. It's where stories are shared, music flows, and grills staying hot way after sundown. So whether it's your weekend tradition or your family's gathering spot or simply a taste of home, these are places that bring people together in the most delicious of ways. So if there's one that always delivers on vibe and flavor, well, now's your chance to say, I see you. Nominate your favorite for Gauteng's greatest Shisanyama at primemediaplus.com, because Gauteng isn't just the hub of business, it's the home of excellence, and that excellence deserves your applause. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Let Yoko counterfuel your business to greatness. Go to yoko.com and explore the new point of sale solution, saving hundreds of businesses time and money.
Meet Uminatsi Nyaba, a powerhouse storyteller and after-graduate who earned her Bachelor of Arts in Motion Picture cum laude. From a young age, Uminatsi knew that storytelling was her calling, but financial hurdles nearly dimmed her dream. That all changed when she received the Hollywood Foundation's Future is Bright bursary. It lifted a huge weight off her shoulders and gave her the freedom to focus fully on her craft. She began making bold moves and creating incredible work, including her award-winning short film, which was selected for international screenings. Thanks to the Hollywood Foundation, Uminati is ready to tell the stories the world needs to hear. Follow the Hollywood Foundation's social pages for more stories of stars on the rise. Sizofunda sonke.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the new Opel Grandland. With smart tech and striking design, it's German engineering on a grand scale. Test drive one today at your nearest Opel dealer. It's 7:45, Amo. Why is there slow traffic in Alberton?
Due to an accident, Bongani, it's right near on the R59 North, right near the Reading interchange, and it's causing about a 15-minute hold-up coming out of Swartkopies Road. So please be on the lookout there. Traffic is not so bad on other roads, but we still have peak-time delays along the N3 North, and that's between the Geldernis interchange and Modderfontein Road. There's also slow-moving traffic along the N1 North between Winnie Mandela Drive and Malibongwe Drive. And then if you're traveling out of the city of Tshwane Centurion on the N1 South towards Midrand, delays coming out of the Braakfontein interchange towards the Olifantsfontein Road. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Don't ever settle for great. You know that great feeling after nailing a big presentation? Imagine upgrading that. I'm talking driving home with your car's massage seats, practically high-fiving your bum. Headlights so bright, you feel like the star your boss said you were. Arriving home, making an entrance, grander than your slide transitions. Go grand in the new Opel Grandland, designed and made in Germany. Visit opel.co.za for more.
Opel Grandland. 702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance, please tell me, what is the question if the answer is 18 years old? Let's try Lichabe in Kempton Park. Lichabe, what's the question?
The question is, how old is Victoria Mbogo, the winner of Canada Tennis Open?
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Lichabe. That is indeed what we've been speaking about this morning. She's had a fantastic run these last few weeks. Got a wild card draw into the Canadian Open, which of course is her home tournament. And she went on to beat her childhood idol, Naomi Osaka, who was in fact asked about what it felt for her to be playing someone who says they idolized her from childhood. This was, of course, a conversation before the match, which Victoria Mbogo went on to win. Have a listen.
I mean, I don't think that's ever happened. I'm shook. Oh no, I mean, that's like, it's really cute. I guess I have to be like, have a really good attitude tomorrow. I can't let her like not like me anymore. I don't know. It's funny because I was like, I see her on the TV and I was low key like, that's my little twin, because we both have our blue dresses and like our buns and everything. But yeah, I mean, I'm really honored. I always said that I'd love to play someone that like looked up to me in a way. So it's happening way sooner than I thought it would.
That is, of course, Naomi Osaka reflecting on the match that was to be. And I wonder how much of a disadvantage she may have experienced playing this person who calls or considers themselves your hero, right? Or you're their hero, rather. Beg your pardon. You're playing someone who considers you their hero. Does that put added pressure to compete? I wonder.
You are the poster child, the biggest saver we've ever had.
I decided that I would contact Outsurance and let them work out what they could do for me.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, big saving. 2,794 Rand a month.
That's over 33,000 Rand a year.
And it was the easiest switch ever. Real people helping real people get real deals.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands.
What does you always get something out mean to you, Lorette?
Outsurance made it possible for us to live our dream to travel more with the money in our pocket that we save.
Let me know, what is it?
725. It was unbelievable. My husband, he sits there on the chair and he's just nodding his head and say, yes, yes, yes. This is really not just an advertisement. This is really real.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP, T's, C's, and information online.
Your office is more than just a place to work.
It's a reflection of your success. At Desk and Chair, we help you elevate your workspace with locally manufactured desks and a wide range of chairs to suit your style and budget. Our expert consultants are with you every step of the way, from planning to delivery and assembly. Visit our showroom in Midrand or shop online at deskandchair.co.za. Desk and Chair. Think, feel, work better.
The National Lottery keeps creating big winners. One lucky Powerball winner scooped the jaw-dropping jackpot of over 124 million rand on Tuesday after playing through their banking platform. Play any National Lottery game and stand a chance to win life-changing jackpots. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old or play responsibly. eTuba is a proud operator of the National Lottery.
Choose the best. The new Huawei Pura 80 series. The master photography. A super sensor with precision zoom. Stay sharp from dawn to dusk with a superior 1-inch ultra-lighting camera and ultra-lighting macro telephoto lens. The master of color, enhancing every frame with vibrant color and incredible clarity. Tricky lighting? No problem. Take portraits against the light with every face perfectly illuminated. It's more than a phone. It's a professional studio in your pocket. Go beyond with Huawei Pura 80 series.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
Now, for the world of viral content, Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Belle.
Breaking the parents' rules. I can so see you being this kind of uncle.
You know, I think being an auntie and an uncle is a really special thing. And having aunties and uncles in your life is a really, really a blessed thing to have. And I've been lucky to have 5 of them when I was growing up and still around today, thank God. So this guy posted a video about the relationship between aunties and uncles and the little ones, and the rules that sometimes parents may have. You know, when you take them into your care, they'll say, don't do this, don't give them that, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. And then this guy's thing is, as an uncle, this is his views.
As an aunt or uncle, you're going to learn very quickly. It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission when it comes to your nieces and nephews. Because their parents telling you they can't have juice or soda while they're in the kitchen drinking wine straight out of the box like it's a Capri Sun isn't going to sit right with you. So when my nieces and nephews are with me, their parents' rules won't get broken, but they will get bent a little bit.
I think most aunties and uncles do bend the rules a little bit. I mean, you Bongles, you got any stories of bending the rules, or remember when you were a kid?
You see, part of it is being able to keep the secret, you see, because if you watch the video, he gets the little boy to go, shh, and, gives him the sip of soda. Uncles never tell, Kabazela. Uncles never tell.
No, they never tell. But the little ones will go and tell. And they'll say, Mommy,
he gave me Coke. They do.
They will go and tell. So let's have a bit of fun with this morning. As an aunt or uncle, what rules have you bent a little bit when it comes to taking care of your nieces or nephews? And then the parents, what rules have you caught them breaking, especially when the little ones have come home maybe for the weekend and said, oh, Auntie so-and-so did this, or Uncle so-and-so gave me this. And you were like, what?
Yeah, you just have to live with it. You just have to live with it.
It's part of life. It's part of life.
All of my daughter's aunties have always piled her with cake and all the sweet things that she loves. And I've had to get over it because, they have their own relationship.
Yeah, of course. I went away to Margate for a trip with my 2 aunties, my mom's younger sisters, much younger sisters. And I was going to Standard 6. And on that holiday over, I think it was December, I had my ear pierced, my left ear pierced. Didn't ask my mom for permission or anything like that. And then when I got home, I always wanted to get my ear pierced. And then I thought, now's the time. And then I did. And then, when I got to Standard 6, I ended up taking it out. But, my mom didn't have the greatest look on her face when she saw me.
Is it still pierced?
No. It's closed long ago.
You grew up.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. How prepared are you when you go to a restaurant, particularly one you've never been to before?
Yeah, so this guy posted a video of himself, looking through the menu, and then he put a caption on the video saying, "Me pretending I never Googled the restaurant 3 days before I came," So I wanted to ask our listeners this morning if that is in fact, if you do that. So if I say, Bongles, let's go to this restaurant, and you've never been to it before, would you Google the menu beforehand, or would you just go to the restaurant and have it as a surprise? And if you do Google beforehand the menu, what are the reasons that you Google it? Is it because you want to see what's on offer? Do you want to see the prices? What are the various reasons that you may Google the menu beforehand?
If I'm taking you out on a date and I particularly want to impress, and that could mean any number of things, either because we are looking for something casual that's a little understated, if that's what we've agreed on, then I don't want to take you to a fancy place. So I'll be looking at, does this menu meet what the date's requirements are going to be? Equally, of course, if I want to knock your socks off and I want to take you to an impressive place, I want to make sure that it will be. So that would be my reason. But otherwise, if I'm invited, I don't care. I don't want to know. In fact, I want to be surprised when I'm there.
Well, I'd like you to knock my socks off. Thanks, Bongles.
Yeah, I've met your fiance. No, thank you. That's what's gone viral with Kabazela. Breaking the parents' rules. Are you that aunt? Are you that uncle? And why would you Google the menu before you go?
How guys, Ganjan? Here I am. My mouth is ready. My voice is always jacked for always good on a Friday, but no. Bongs and John Loud Bangshanya Bomb.
702. Feedback
with Rupfiwa Kone.
Serves you right. You clearly haven't been listening for a while because we haven't done that in a bit. But maybe Kawazela and I can revive it. Rupfiwa Kone, very good morning to you.
Good morning,
you with a voice. Are you that aunt or uncle?
I am the aunt that breaks the rules most of the time. I let my nephews and niece get away with everything.
And when your kids have an uncle who breaks the rules, do you?
My brothers
get unhappy?
Definitely break the rules all the time. They
roll your
like
eyes with
their
it.
nephews, so they probably do things that I still don't know about, and I will find out
One day.
Yeah.
All right, earlier, we started the show with this. I mean, I think it's an amazing story, this Victoria Mboko story, because it's just one of those that comes along every once in a while. She's done amazing things, and I think she's got a bright future. So we asked the question, what was your pinch me moment, pinch myself moment, whether it was a personal highlight or even career?
Well, Bongani, my pinch me moment. And I just want to brag about this for a moment. Nah? Grew up very underprivileged. There wasn't a lot of things that we could achieve in my environment. I always dreamed of working with you, Bongani, all my life. I watched you on Carte Blanche, and I always told my parents and my family that one day I'm going to work with Bongani. And everybody kept on telling me, because of where I come from, like, it's not going to happen. How are you going to make that happen? What contacts are going to make that happen? So guess what? 2 years ago, I arrive at 702 and I meet Bongani for the first time.
And he was mean.
And he was not mean. He was not mean. He was absolutely humbling. You've taught me so much. So that was my pinch me moment, finding out that I'm going to finally work with you and picking up the phone and calling my mom and say, Mama, you remember the conversations we used to have about Bongani?
Gosh.
And Bongani is right here.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm so grateful to 702 and Prime Media that they made my dream come true.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say to that.
That's
Listen,
my
you're
moment.
absolutely amazing. You are here as part of a team. You have a really significant role to play. You've earned your stripes. And yeah, we are the lucky ones to have you on board.
Thank you, Bongani, and thank you for teaching me.
Let's move on to other things.
Bongani, those pinch me moments keep on coming through there from the listeners. Many listeners saying that their most memorable pinch me moments were meeting Nelson Mandela. And of course, one listener did come through and said she resigned from her job and she had a migraine. On her way to the doctor, she got a phone call offering her a better position, a better salary, a better everything.
Wow.
She is 5 years away from retirement. She's not financially wealthy, but she's strong
She's done
enough
well
and she's
for
happy.
herself.
So,
Well,
yeah.
talking of strong enough, the next hour of the show is going to be absolutely explosive. Guess who's about to sit in this studio? The one and only Joe Thomas. Have you got your tickets to the Women's Day concert? It's happening at the DP Wanderers Stadium. Up next, we speak to Joe Thomas, the one and only. It's a pinch me moment. It's 8 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Some exporters are anxious about Trump's tariffs, and environmental activists hit out at oil giant Shell and the government. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The South African Chamber of Commerce in the US says the country's position as a gateway for American companies into Africa is now at risk, highlighting knock-on effects of US tariffs. President Donald Trump's steep 30% tariffs for a wide range of South African products entering America kicked in yesterday. In a statement, the Chamber says it has received reports from exporters experiencing cancelled contracts, delayed shipments, and rising warehousing costs due to new custom hurdles. The organization expressed concern over government's inability to reach a trade agreement with the US or exemption from the now imposed rates. But yesterday, Minister in the Presidency Khumbuzo Ntshavheni said a review of the current tariff structure is not out of the question.
But otherwise, if there was no prospect for a review, there would not be need for a continuous engagement. So we continue to engagement because there's always prospect for review. And we're not the only country that is in that position. We are part of the others.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has again expressed support for peace initiatives that will end Russia's 3-year war with Ukraine. Ramaphosa spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin over the phone yesterday to discuss this matter and other issues of mutual bilateral interest. Presidency spokesperson Vincent Magwenya.
President Putin expressed his recognition and appreciation for South Africa's involvement in advancing a peace process between Russia and Ukraine.
Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump says he will meet with Putin for upcoming talks on the Ukraine war, even if the Russian leader had not sat down with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The statements, which contradicted earlier reports that a Putin-Zelensky meeting was a prerequisite for the summit, came after Trump gave Moscow until today to reach a ceasefire or face fresh sanctions. Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office yesterday, Trump said the ball is on Putin's side of the court to announce a ceasefire.
Is your deadline still standing for Vladimir Putin to agree to a ceasefire tomorrow, or is that fluid now?
It's going to be up to him. We're going to see what he has to say. It's going to be up to him. Very disappointed, yeah.
The state in the rape and murder case of a 4-year-old girl has argued that the accused, Amber Lee Hughes, expressed intent to kill the child in 2022. Hughes' legal team attempted to dispute the NPA's claim that little Nada Jane Chalita's murder was premeditated. Hughes, a former preschool teacher, was arrested in 2023 after she drowned her boyfriend's daughter in a bathtub. Dozo Kumalo reports.
As the court heard the closing arguments from defense and state, Hughes' credibility was under scrutiny. This comes after she confessed to killing the child after feigning innocence for 2 years. The court criticized the move, citing Hughes' wasted time, resulting in the family suffering prolonged trauma. Prosecutor Rowlene Bernard believes Amber Hughes had thought through the child's murder before committing it.
We know she wanted to hurt Mrs. Chalita, but that shows that she had to make a conscious decision, not just intention to cause murder, but she had to weigh her options. How am I going to hurt Mr. Chalita? How am I going to burn his heart? It did not happen on the spur of the moment.
The final verdict is expected to be handed down later this month. Ndogozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News.
And environmental activists are calling on government to immediately set aside oil giant Shell's Northern Cape ultra-deep oil and gas drilling project. The Department of Minerals and Petroleum Resources authorized the project a month ago, but environmentalists, Green Connection and Natural Justice have highlighted concerns, saying the approval could be unlawful. Carlo Peterson takes a look.
Legal advisor for the Green Connection, Shahil Singh, says Shell's environmental and social impact assessment report for its ultra-deep oil and gas drilling project along the west coast appears to be riddled with flaws.
The oil spill blowout response plans, which are the documents that tell us how Shell would respond to a disaster, were not even included in the assessment.
Community outreach coordinator at the Green Connection, Neville Van Roy, says government should be moving away from the use of fossil fuels. Petroleum Agency South Africa says it will respond on behalf of government in due course. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $3,398, 2 cents an ounce. The rand is trading at 17.72 to the dollar, 23.81 to the pound, 20.66 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $66.38 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North between Malibongwe Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. That's due to peak time delays there while traveling in Alberton. That accident I spoke about earlier has been cleared, but traffic remains very slow coming out of Nelson Mandela Avenue.
And in your sport, it's finally upon us. The new season of the Betway Premiership kicks off Saturday afternoon. We also have the Community Shield taking place Sunday, while the Proteas face Australia in the first T20. And the Springbok women set to announce their Rugby World Cup squad.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs of between 17 and 19 degrees. The top story in EW in this hour. The South African Chamber of Commerce in the US says the country's position as a gateway for American companies into Africa is now at risk, highlighting knock-on effects of US tariffs.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Your favorite local business could be a Gauteng legend. Nominate them now on primediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Seven minutes after 8 o'clock, South African Chamber of Commerce expressing some concerns about the failure to reach a deal with the US. But we now understand that our president has spoken to the US President Donald Trump earlier in the week. The presidency says it was around the trade issues, but also there may be some movement now when it comes to our peace efforts to try and broker some kind of ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. South Africa's long-standing position was that we could indeed play a role in that conflict. Many detractors saying we were simply trying to punch above our weight. And look at us now. Kabazela wants to know, are you that uncle or auntie that breaks the rules for your nephews and your nieces? Do you give them the treats that their parents wouldn't want them to have because you want to be that guy or that gal? And when you go to a restaurant, particularly if you haven't been to that establishment before, what would your reason be for Googling the menu? And we still want to know about those pinch me moments. Send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072 702 1702. We'll take your calls on 011 883 0702.
Hi, Bongani. This is Peace from Tembisa. My pinch me moment was when we were playing a soccer match. As a man, we're busy playing. I'm a striker. And then all of a sudden, come half time, then this guy rocks up. We're going to be partners up front, striking together. And this guy is my idol. Hey. I got the shock of my life. Jesus Kosana is passing me the ball. Next thing, I'm missing goals because I'm like amused. Yo. Is this really happening? Me playing with Jesus Kosana in the same team. And guess what? I was the captain of the team.
Good morning, Bongani and team. Oh, Rock Fuelers moment, pinch me moment.
I listened on the radio, ran to YouTube just to replay it and to see it. And I know she was holding the tears because I was holding the tears on her behalf. That was so beautiful. That was so beautiful, guys. 702. You guys,
Okay, Hopfiwa has definitely won the Pinch Me Challenge. I'm in tears. Great show, guys. Great show. And wow.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Yeah, you can imagine how I'm feeling, right? I'm having my own Naomi Osaka moment there, I can tell you. Playing with Legs of Thunder, Jerry's Kosana, and then you miss... you miss the ball.
I mean...
Because it's one thing, right, to meet or work with somebody you've idolized, but when you don't show up at your best, and then you're like, goodbye, Zita. Mateo, are you that indulgent uncle?
I think I am for my nephews. My sister has two sons, both in their teenage years. One is 13 now, the other's 18. And look, obviously, they look to me for most things. And she will just say, don't give them this, don't give them that, don't allow them to do this. And I'm like, they're boys. There's certain things you need to allow them to do.
So you're not one of those, I'll tell your uncle.
No,
I'll
I
tell your uncle.
definitely am that. But I also allow them to see just how they handle themselves in society. I let them do certain things.
I wonder what those certain things are. Your sister might be listening. Shh. Amo?
Yeah, you really don't want to have your children over at my house because there's no sodas, no sugar, no snacks beyond a certain time of the evening. But at the same time, the things that you won't do with your children, I will do with them. I'll play with them, right? I'll organize games. I will do stuff with them, and that almost reminds me of my own childhood that their parents won't do with them. So, yeah, I'm your go-to auntie.
It's funny, I remember a time where we absolutely didn't have sodas or even fruit juices in the house. And I remember my daughter finding out that these things were available in other people's homes because I would always used to, shame, and I've said this on air before, I would say, no, they belong to the shop. You know, they belong to imagine if somebody came to our house and took our things. So we mustn't, we can only buy these things from the shop, but the rest belong to the shop. And then to her shock and horror, she found out other homes actually have sodas and sweets and cakes. And no wonder she's got a sweet tooth.
EWN Traffic.
All right, this Eyewitness News Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we still have got queuing traffic on the N1 South. This is between the Brakfontein interchange on Samrand Avenue due to an earlier accident. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North between Malibongwe Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. There's also slow-moving traffic, peak time delays, in fact, on the M1 North between Boysons and Car Street. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
If you want to save on your car insurance premium, you call Outsurance, right? But what if you don't save? Well, they'll give you cash just for trying. You heard right. Just ask for 500 Rand cash. But wait, there's more. If you don't save and have been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years, you can ask them for 1,500 Rand cash. Savings or cash, you always get something out.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Hi, Bongs. I always break the rules, especially with my nieces. But the middle one, she always spies on us. We always say we're not going to tell. The minute the mother calls, it's like, we went and did this and this. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. So we try to leave her out of things because she can't keep quiet. She spies on us. So I try not to.
Yeah, we're talking from Kabazela's conversations about, are you that uncle or auntie who spoils the nephews and the nieces? And what do the parents say? And if you're a parent, how do you feel it? How do you feel when it happens with your kids and they're spoiled and the rules are broken?
Hey, morning, Bongs. This thing of checking menus beforehand is very important. I once dated a girl back in the day that wanted to go to a certain restaurant. Like she was unemployed, mind you, né? she's been singing like, hey, I want to go to this restaurant. And then I checked, like one day I'm like, oh, sharp, I'll think about it. Then I checked the menu of this restaurant. The price is there. Yay! And I looked at her, I looked at the prices. I'm like, she's not worth it. And I said, no, I'm not taking you there. No. Cook from Cleveland.
Hi, 702. For me, when it comes to the menu, I don't necessarily look at the menu to look at the dishes that they have on offer, but I kind of look just to have a squiz at the price, just so that I know what to expect and I'm well prepared. Sebi and Benoni, thanks. Bye.
Why would you look at the menu before you go to a restaurant? Many people, of course, will do so. Price is a big consideration because you want to make sure, Mateo, that you can show up and do the things.
Yeah, you want to make sure you have the right budget. But I think the other thing for me is I don't like taking too long when I order. Like, I don't know what's going on with my life. I like to know what I'm about to have.
That's just the nerd in you.
Yeah, but I don't want to be there like, the waiter's there. You're like, I'm going to have.
That's why you take your time until you are ready. That's the nerd in you. Barney, you're in Brakpan. Your pinch me moment.
Hey, Bongos, yes, man. So it was a couple of years ago at the Dome, attending the Anthony Hamilton concert.
Yes.
And a part of a show where people really got up and danced in the aisles. I was one of them doing exactly this. We do this dance with colored people called the fast trap. And I'm seeing people are looking at me, thinking they're admiring my moves. And as I turn around, here's Anthony Hamilton standing right next to me, looking at my feet, trying to do the exact same dance. And we're on all the screens. Yeah, it was a bit, it was a peachy moment, but yeah, also a bit embarrassing here you on the screen dancing, for everybody to see, with this legend, and a guy that I really like and admire, Anthony Hamilton, yes.
Listen, he's going to be in Johannesburg tomorrow performing at the DP Wanderers Stadium. It's a Women's Day concert. He, of course, is part of a stellar lineup of artists, and you can hear songs like this.
Tell me what kind of man would treat his woman so cold. Treat you like you're nothing when you're worth more than gold. Girl, to me you're like a diamond. I love the way you shine. $100 million treasure. I give the world to make you mine. String of pearls right in your hand. Make love on a beach of jet black sand. Outside in the rain, we can do it all night. I'll touch all the places he would not, and some he never knew.
from the late 90s into the 2000s, Joe's was the voice of smooth, grown-up R&B, a soundtrack to love, to heartbreak, to hope, and a whole lot in between. We're going to be speaking to him about his hits, the chart toppers, the emotional blueprints to the soundtrack of our lives. That's coming up.
702, The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
Let's focus on news rather from elsewhere in the world. Adam, a very good morning to you. Let's start with this extreme weather in Asia. We've seen a whole series of catastrophic events.
Yeah, and not just spread out across a whole season, but just in the last week. So I suppose the link is here that no rhythm, but plenty of blues for Asia, because Japan recorded its hottest ever day on Tuesday, nearly 42 degrees. South Korea's had 22 tropical nights in a row, 25 degrees or more at night. Vietnam has had its first ever August day of 40 degrees. A description of Hanoi a couple of days ago was it was a pan on fire, which is an expression that might stick with me. I admit now dozens of people have also died as a result of the sweltering heat, particularly in Japan. Then in China, Pakistan and parts of India, there have been torrential rains with floods costing hundreds of lives. And the floods in China have been so widespread. It's not like it's one flood, it's multiple incidents from Shanghai to Beijing to Guangzhou. And climate experts are saying Asia as a whole is warming nearly twice as fast as the global average. And the assessment is that extreme weather, not normal weather, but extreme weather has cost Asia $2 trillion in the region in the last 3 decades. Yeah, I mean, the price of this, of course, is not just money.
That's an eye-watering sum if you think about what $2 trillion might translate to in rand,
Right.
Adam Gilchrist. And of course, the deaths from heat strokes, floods, landslides, you name it. It really is indicative of the changing climate patterns in the world. All right, let's go to Germany now. Some concern, I suppose, of over the culling of baboons at a zoo.
Now, yeah, baboons being culled, not the first time, but there's certainly been some anger in Germany, excuse me, and the staff at the Tiergarten Nuremberg say that they have received death threats from people because 12 healthy guinea baboons were killed because the zoo enclosure isn't big enough, because they were, quote, allowed to breed too freely, would be another issue. And it's got animal rights campaigners incensed. But the baboons were then fed to the lions. So the carcasses of the baboons. Now, out in the wild, of course, anything goes. It's survival of the fittest. It's whatever. Lions eat things. We know that. But in a zoo, it feels like it's meant to be controlled. It's meant to be, shall we say, for the delicate palate of the customer. But also, a couple of days ago, a zoo in Denmark also got some anger from people because they actually advertised for unwanted pets to donate as food to its predators. I mean, lions, tigers, leopards, whatever, they eat stuff, yes, but you don't really want them eating pet Fifi or next door neighbor's chihuahua. You can see why that didn't go so well.
What? That's an extraordinary... Wow, dispose of your unwanted pets. We'll feed them to the lions. That is incredible.
I know, extraordinary.
What kind of pet owner would you have to be? I mean, I know vet fees are a thing, but come on now. Adam Gilchrist, let's end off with childhood wonders. What do kids get amazed by?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you remember something in particular just finding so wonderful as a small child? Something that just, or was it loads of things? I confess, I think I've forgotten most of mine. Maybe that's the way it goes. I do remember a steam train, age 3, going under the bridge where my mum and I were walking, the footbridge, and there was a thing about that. I know it makes me sound a bit 19th century, but there was a steam train. But researchers have been speaking to 6 and 7-year-olds and their parents about the wonder of our wonderful world. And according to them, they say a child finds a new wonder, something genuinely fascinating, 5 times a day, like a snail, ants, a moldy lemon, a giant bubble, a big truck, a small flower, the reflection of your face in a cheese grater or a kettle or a spoon, that sort of stuff. That child psychologist Professor Sam Whis thinks we could learn a thing or two from this and says, look, as adults, we ought to just sometimes stop and look and listen and take note and appreciate what we see as being truly wonderful in our wonderful world. The top 3 wonders of the world for we beings, as stated in this survey anyway, are daisies, seashells, and rainy puddles. Bongs, you can't beat a muddy puddle, can you? I mean, makes a big splash every time.
I remember the first time, I must have been about 5 or 6, the first time I ever saw, what do they call it? A monkey's wedding. A rainbow, when there was full sunlight. When there was full sunlight, and obviously it had rained a little earlier on, and now the sun was shining brightly, but there was a rainbow. And I remember finding that fascinating, and it's something I've never forgotten. Adam Gilchrist, we'll leave it there for today's Worldview.
EWN Business.
All right, let's talk schooling. 27 after 8 as we wrap up this morning's business news. Mateo Khoripe, the private school's owner, Advertisements, acquires a Kenyan education group.
Yeah, the South African private schools group Advertisements has acquired Regis Runda Academy in Nairobi for 172 million rand. This is part of Advertisements' expansion of its Makini school group in Kenya. Advertisements operates a variety of schools, including Crawford International here in South Africa, Pinnacle Colleges, Trinity House, Abbott's College and Gaborone International School. The group CEO, Jeff White, says the company is happy to grow its footprint in the East African education sector. The Nairobi campus has a capacity of around 2,000 students. In November of 2023, Advertisements acquired Flipper International School in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia.
Let's talk about MTN. They're having a good time, particularly in West Africa, Nigeria and Ghana.
Yeah, MTN's earnings are expected to surge in the first half of the year, driven by the strong performances of MTN Nigeria and Ghana. The group expects headline earnings per share to range between 614 and 666 cents. This bodes well for its profits for the year, especially after reporting a loss last year. MTN Nigeria reporting a strong turnaround in the first half of 2025, with profit after tax increasing to 4.9 billion rand, while MTN Nigeria is the large subscriber base for MTN, exceeding 84.1 million active subscribers in 2025. MTN Ghana, on the other hand, reporting a 55.8% increase in profit. The group anticipates a robust performance for the first half of the year.
They used to say everything keeps going right. Toyota, not quite, as a result of the U.S. tariffs.
Yeah, definitely biting. Toyota Motor Company has cut its annual guidance. The world's largest car maker says it expects a $9.5 billion hit to its bottom line from U.S. tariffs. Toyota estimates a dwarfs recent forecasts from global heavyweights such as the auto industry. Ford Company has also said last week they expect to lose about $2 billion. Meanwhile, Stellantis, which makes Jeep and Opel, are saying the tariffs will also hit the company by 1.5 billion euros. General Motors, a company in the US, expecting a $4 billion hit from tariffs.
Where's the rand?
17 Rand 73 against the US dollar, 20 Rand 65 cents against the euro, and a 23 Rand 81 cents against the British pound. The price of gold at $3,395 an ounce, or platinum, is also up this morning at $1,345. Brent crude at $66.10 a barrel. Stephen Crotus with the wrap of the week's business later this afternoon.
The time check exactly 8:30 on the nose. Let's go straight to the news desk. Good morning again, Sfiso Zulu.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The ANC in Ekurhuleni will go ahead with its 8th regional conference despite threats of court action and open letters calling for proceedings to be halted. 6 members have already approached the High Court seeking to have the 3-day gathering interdicted. The last time Ekurhuleni elected leadership was in 2022 when violent clashes broke out, with votes from at least 12 branches being placed in quarantine and excluded from the final tally. It's understood Mayor Dr. Gaza, who is also the convener of and is the frontrunner in the race for regional chair. Tsidi Madia reports.
Delegates at the ANC Ekurhuleni's 8th Regional Conference will have to pick between Mayor Dr. Gaza or former Treasurer Silos Koko, a entrepreneur linked to Tembisa Hospital graft, when it comes to choosing a chairperson. The event, despite attempts to have it halted, looks likely to go ahead, with delegates having already started the registration process. EWN understands the ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula is likely to open the conference. Ekurhuleni is seen as a key battleground in the province, which could bolster Mbalula's own ambitions for higher office in the party in the long run. More than 40 of the ANC's regions are expected to elect new leaders this year. CD Madia, Eyewitness News.
The IFP says a shooting that claimed the life of its member and left 2 others wounded has hampered its preparations for next year's local government elections. The party made the comments outside the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court yesterday, where the 3 alleged gunmen have been appearing. The trio is accused of opening fire at a group of IFP members during a meeting in Katlehong about 3 months ago. IFP Member of Parliament Ketas Tole died on the spot, while 2 other IFP members were seriously wounded. Tawiso Koba reports.
IFP supporters from the Ekurhuleni region came out in their numbers for yesterday's court appearance. Some of those who were in attendance are survivors from that fateful night. IFP National Council member Muzintuli says they are trying to put up a brave face. However, the physical and psychological scars from that night still remain.
And members there are still traumatized. We are trying to get into processes where people will get counseling, because members are still not believe what happened in that day. But we are trying to organize, because we are approaching elections next year. So everybody need to be ready for election next year.
The matter returns to court on the 19th of August. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
And at least 20 municipalities in KwaZulu-Natal are at risk of losing their funding from National Treasury due to poor financial management. This is part of Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana's stance against poorer performing municipalities in the country. KZN Department spokesperson Kosikona Duma says high levels of unauthorized, irregular and wasteful expenditure cannot continue.
Municipalities are the closest sphere of government to citizens. They are key to service delivery. Failure to comply with financial management prescripts does not bode well for the agenda of developing an ethical and a capable state.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 17 and 19 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N12 east towards the Yelands interchange due to an accident after Voortrekker Road. Please be on the lookout there. While travelling on the N1 North, traffic remains heavily backed up between Malibongwe Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive.
The top story this hour, the ANC in Ekurhuleni will go ahead with its 8th regional conference.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
On the Midday Report, every day from 12 to 1 p.m, we will bring you breaking news from the scene as it unfolds with newsmakers, reporters, commentators, experts and analysts. We'll explain the stories of the day, give you context for why they are important and what they mean for you. It is everything you need to know in 1 hour, from news to global events, business, sports, science, books and always some good news too. Appointment listening, every day at 12 with the Midday Report.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
When selling a car, there's nothing worse than a long, frustrating process. We Buy Cars knows life's short and time is precious. Sell your car within a day from wherever you find it convenient. Simply complete the online form and We Buy Cars will make it happen. Need a new ride? Explore thousands of vehicles online or in-store. We Buy Cars, South Africa's trusted vehicle partner.
Did you ever work in the UK? If you did for at least 3 years and you're under 67, you can get a guaranteed UK state pension worth up to 5 million rand over a typical retirement for just a small payment directly to UK revenue. Most people get 40 rand back for every rand they pay in. There's a big queue at UK revenue as this opportunity may end soon, so act fast. Call Extra Pension in Cape Town or see extrapension.com. Mind your UK pension and it'll mind you. Service fees apply.
Choose Checkers, SA's #1 value for money supermarket, and save on Knox Hydration Drink 500 mils, any 2 for 28 Rand. Finish dishwasher tablets 45 or 56 pack, any 2 for 419 Rand. And Lindt chocolate product range, buy any and save 20%. Valid until this Sunday at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
Hey, honey, look. Went to the shops, like you asked, and it was the Deco Fern birthday sale. Picked up this amazing 3-seater sofa for only $5,599. And this coffee table, just $489. And this gorgeous standing mirror for like $699.
Wow, I just asked you to get some milk.
Get deals worth celebrating at Deco Furniture's epic birthday sale with 10 to 40% and more of everything in store or online now at decofurnsa.co.za.
Every business begins with heart, but it thrives with support. And no one backs Gauteng's dreamers and doers like 702, Yoko, and you. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko are back to recognize and celebrate the local entrepreneurs making life better. From your favorite coffee spot to the baker who knows your name, from the salon that raised generations to the bold newcomer raising the bar. Just think of the business that made you feel seen. Now's your chance to say, I see you. I see you. Go to primemediaplus.com to view the categories and make your nomination. Because this province isn't just the hub of business, it's the home of excellence. And excellence deserves your applause. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Let Yoko Counter fuel your business to greatness. Go to yoko.com to explore the new point of sale solution, saving hundreds of businesses time and money.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani, the producers and the listeners. Oh, my pinch me moment was when the late Baby Jake did, I'm sure, his last fight at the casino near the airport. Utata Mandela was there, Will Smith. I had the opportunity to greet Baby Jake, Utata Mandela, and Will Smith. Guess what? My client booked me right there, and I sat right with them. So, guys, I take the moment, not Ramo. This is Master Strong.
Bongani, my pinch me moment. You actually just took me back to 2006. So I was attending a conference in Toronto. Midway through the proceedings, I decided to go use the bathroom. So needless to say, I got lost, ended up backstage. So I see this huge guy in a black suit standing next to a door. So I decided to go ask him, where can I find the bathrooms? As I'm approaching him, the door opens. And guess who walked out? Bill Clinton. He greeted me politely and I froze. I probably said ahe to him.
That's the one for the morning. That is the... You probably said Gauteng. I ain't that. The guy. Can you imagine? That is the pinch me moment voice note of the morning.
Good morning, Bonks and the team, 702 Land. Muteo, when it comes to music, I still rely on the radio, listening to the radio, especially on weekends. Yes, I do listen to the young ones. Yes, Bongani, I do. Joel from Kempton Park, have a splendid Friday. I'm streaming live from Lusaka, Zambia.
What do you do in Lusaka, Zambia, Joel? Because you've sent us notes before saying that's where you are. I'm now curious about what it is you go there for. Now, it's 20 minutes to 9 o'clock. We have promised you an interview with Joe Thomas, who is, of course, part of the fantastic Women's Day concert happening at the DP Wanderers Stadium tomorrow. He's part of a stellar lineup. We met Anthony Hamilton earlier in the week. He was here, in fact, yesterday. In the building was Anthony Hamilton with Vusinova. You can expect Java Zonke is also part of the lineup, and Joe Thomas, who agreed to an interview with us this morning. He was scheduled to come in to speak to us a little after 8 o'clock. We delayed it, played some of his music, thinking he's on his way, he's on his way, he's on his way. And, you know, we always tell you the truth here at 7:02. This is our event, so I understand what that looks like for us. But we are reliably now told the Maslow Hotel beds are so comfortable, uber, ultra comfortable, that he might still be sleeping. It's not his fault. It's those Maslow Hotel beds. He did his best. But unfortunately, we'll only get to see Joe tomorrow on stage.
EWN Sport.
So now you know what happens, Anthony, if you ever oversleep.
Yep. And my bed is quite comfortable as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like a comfy bed. I understand. I have all the compassion in the world.
It's especially because we get up quite early.
Completely understand why you might be in a comfy bed and think, nah, I'll stay in a little longer.
Yeah, it's fresh as well.
You know?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the Betway Premiership. There's something fresh.
Yeah, a fresh new season begins with the opening weekend. Defending champs Mamelodi Sundowns will start off against Chippa United. AmaZulu play promoted club Orbit College. Richards Bay meet Maramagalans Polokwane City up against Magezi. New kids on the block. Siwelele starts up against Golden Arrows. And Orlando Pirates battle Sekukuna United. All of those games taking place Saturday, by the way. Coach Abduslam Awaudu will take charge of his first league match with the Buccaneers and says he wants to build on the work done by previous coaches Zaida Vedu over the last 3 seasons rather than immediately introduce his own ideas.
When we come in such a big club, and especially the fantastic job that the boys have been doing with the previous coach, of course, as a professional coach, you have to analyze what has been done. Of course, we have to keep this foundation. It could be stupid if we come here and we want to change everything. It's not my idea.
Kaizer Chiefs will have to wait to start their campaign Sunday against Stellenbosch. At the same time, in England, the curtain raiser, the Community Shield, has Premier League champions Liverpool up against FA Cup winners Crystal Palace. In cricket, the Proteas will begin their tour of Australia Sunday with the first T20 of the series. It will be the first encounter between the two nations since the Proteas' historic World Test Championship final win back in June. Kagiso Rabada spoke about working under Shukri Conrad.
For me, it's been quite interesting to try and understand, how he's going to go about the 2 different formats, his methodology as to, what he feels outside of the test space. It's been kind of similar, quite a few things going a bit left field, which is quite refreshing and interesting to think about.
You know what's interesting? We're no longer at that point where we wonder how players are going to switch from one format to the next because there's that much cricket on the go, and so many of them are accustomed to the various formats, and it's just pick up and go.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we will have a chance to see new players within this setup, at least in the shortest format, like Coben Bosch, Kwena Mapaka, and given the way that they have started their international careers, it's more about the consistency. And now that Shukri Conrad is now overseeing all 3 of the formats,
right?
There's that consistency.
That makes sense, right?
It really does.
Yeah, that makes sense. Good luck to the Proteas.
Yes.
Let's hope they do the same thing they did at Lords, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In rugby, week 3 of the Currie Cup will start this afternoon with the Griquas up against Western Province, while the Springbok women will announce their squad for the 2025 Rugby World Cup Saturday afternoon. One player who won't be part of the proceedings is flanker Lusanda Dumke, who announced she will be stepping away from the sports due to health concerns. Bulls Daisies captain earned 33 test caps as well as captaining the nation on 3 occasions. An alleged footage has surfaced of American sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson furiously shoving her boyfriend and fellow sprinter Christian Coleman at the Seattle International Airport. The sprinter was arrested last month on 4th-degree domestic violence. In the video, Richardson is seen shoving Coleman, who tries to walk away before being slammed up against the support column. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
When you're uploading massive files, does it really matter what your internet's download speed is? With business class internet, you get a connection that's as fast going up as it is down. Your company deserves business class internet because just reboot the router isn't a business strategy. Find reliability at vodacombusiness.co.za. Together, let's build the extraordinary. Further together. Vodacom Business.
Celebrate Women's Month in style with Hollywood Bets and Spinner Zonke. Take fearless shots at fantastic fortunes with our special selection of fierce female-themed games. Kick back, relax, and entertain yourself with the ultimate slot escape. Let Heart of Rio put you in a carnival mood. Indulge in anime fantasy with Nine Tails, or embark on fire-breathing adventures in Dragon Kingdom. Supercharge your slots and bet now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008.
Welcome to Nando's Customer Care. How can I help you?
Finally, can I actually just speak to the manager? It's about the chicken. Why did you marinate it for 24 hours? 24 hours, 86,400 seconds to marinate. Why?
Well, I mean, it is really tender, juicy, and that delicious Nando's peri-peri flavor just warms me up. And then you add any 3 sharing sides, and I guess, well, there is nothing like it. But that is my complaint. I can't complain.
Nando's, fire it up.
Weekday evenings at 6.
The Santam Insurance Barometer report showing this week suggesting nearly 2/3 of agri-businesses believe climate change is actually now the top risk that they're facing.
Climate is no longer sticking to the time periods that you normally know. For instance, if you know that in November you plant your maize and then you're going to get maybe 4 tons or so, but it's no longer the case now, and it's increasingly becoming risky for farmers.
Tabile Nkunja is an agricultural economist.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Curtis is brought to you by ABSA CIB. ABSA is a proud lead sponsor of B20 South Africa 2025. ABSA is a registered FSP. Your story matters. 702. Let's walk the talk.
This August, the Prime Media Sport and Entertainment Masterclass is open to the public for the very first time. Join Harvard Business School's Professor Anita Albiser for 2 days of global case studies, including Real Madrid's winning formula, Netflix's streaming dominance. It's all happening on the 11th and 12th of August at the Maslow Hotel in Sandton. Seats are limited and there'll be no sleepovers. Search Prime Media Sport Masterclass on Ticketmaster to book today.
EWN Traffic.
12 minutes before 9 o'clock. Amo, you could give me a little laugh for that. There'll be no sleepovers at Maslow.
We get it.
The seats are also comfortable. Just as comfortable as the beds. Okay, enough. I've done enough.
You have indeed. Well, if you're traveling on the N1 South, there's been an accident. Hopefully you don't fall asleep while stuck in traffic. It's right near the Bakfontein off-ramp, and it's causing heavy delays coming out of the Bakfontein interchange. While traveling on the N12 East, another accident seen in the South Crest area. Delays coming out of Fort Ricker Road towards the Elands interchange. I'll have your next traffic update at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. Coming up
On the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Somebody we have not seen in a very, very long time. I haven't seen her personally. I haven't spoken to her in about maybe 2 hours. Sidi Badia returns following this morning's political desk, but wearing a different hat now, metaphorically. You are in for Clement, whose birthday it is on Sunday, so I imagine he's going to have a long, dirty weekend somewhere.
Well put. Well said. I expect nothing less from Clement.
Dirty
His
weekend
birthday.
somewhere.
Coming up on his show, though,
That's my
Bongles.
best Fraser Crane voice.
Oh, is it your Fraser Crane voice?
It's
Miles.
A
Okay,
dirty
I can't even-
weekend somewhere.
But it is actually that.
What's
It
on the
is
show?
that. Coming up on the show, it's a Friday, usual Friday features. Across the desk, we're looking at marriage counselors, the work of marriage counseling.
Ooh.
And then the third and final hour, obviously remember it's adult radio, right? It's a sex focus.
Long and dirty weekend begins at 11 o'clock.
Right on theme. Erotic blueprints. Have you ever heard of those things?
What are those?
You know love languages?
Yeah.
The sex languages. Listen, tune in between 11 and 12 and we'll tell you what those are.
Erotic. Is this like fetishes? How's that different?
It's like love languages. So some people tap into what gets them on in different ways. It's
What
the
does that
same.
mean?
You know how there's touch, service, there's also that in the world of sex.
So that can translate into
Yes,
the
just
physical
tune in.
relationship.
Yes, just tune in. Yes.
Do you have a blueprint?
Kink as well is there.
Do you have a blueprint?
Anyway, so the open line.
Politics. I thought you were going to say politics.
Politics turns me
That's
on.
your blueprint.
No, not so much. But in the open line, Bongos, I want to speak about the
Sappos.
national
Is it Sappo? Yeah.
dialogue. Focus.
Sappo.
Focus. In the open line, I want to talk about the national dialogue, which seems
Yeah.
to be hitting more winds as foundations have apparently threatened to pull out. That event is meant to kick off next week. So we'll talk about that. Maybe that's where I get my rocks off. Maybe that's what, No, yes.
The Clement Mangatela Show between 9 and 12 with Tidi Madea, and you'll find out about her blueprints.
Choose the best. The new Huawei Pura 80 series. The master of photography. A super sensor with precision zoom. Stay sharp from dawn to dusk with a superior 1-inch ultralighting camera and ultralighting macro telephoto lens. The master of color, enhancing every frame with vibrant color and incredible clarity. Tricky lighting? No problem. Take portraits against the light with every face perfectly illuminated. It's more than a phone. It's a professional studio in your pocket. Go beyond with Huawei Pura 80 series.
Dear Journal, trying to be an adult day 3731. I'm really struggling to explain my parents to my therapist. Might send him to live with them so he can see for himself. What if he ends up in therapy too? Wait, what if they love him more than me?
Finally learning about mental health. Get covered at pineapple.co.za. It's convenient and like 19 Rand a day, so it's 100% the insurance for you. Underwritten by Old Mutual Alternative Risk Transfer Insurer Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent.
My family's struggling with snotty noses and phlegmy coughs.
Oh no! Have you tried ACC?
ACC 600 is a convenient one-a-day effervescent tablet from 14 years of age, or now also in a no-water-needed, fruity-flavored sherbet-like granules that dissolve in your mouth. Ideal for the on-the-go adult. Ask for ACC 600 effervescent or oral powder at your nearest pharmacy to get rid of the snotties and flemings. And trust, if it doesn't say ACC, it's not ACC.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes before 9 o'clock. We're moving on to this now. A voice that carries memory, the weight of remembering, but also the tenderness of love, perhaps even the hope of healing. Sfiso Kanyile is a singer, songwriter, storyteller, and returns to the stage for one night only at the Market Theatre to bring his soul-stirring live experience to Johannesburg audiences, and it's happening next week, Friday, the 15th of August. So you've got a whole week to buy your tickets, to plan around this. We didn't spring it up on you and say tonight. It's happening on the 15th of August. From the haunting beauty of Ubala to the promise whispered in I Promise, Kanyile invites you to hear songs that aren't just music, but I would say are moments reimagined, reborn on a live stage. And he was not at the Maslow last night, so he's here this morning. I'm so naughty, Brasvisa. Good morning.
Morning, Bugatti. Morning to your listeners.
I love storytelling. I love the power of a story to move people to action, to connect people, to find our shared common touches, right? Our shared humanity. And I think a lot of what I do is essentially storytelling, right? What's special for you about being a storyteller?
I think it's trying to tell South African stories in music in so many different ways. If you listen to my music, I don't necessarily put characters in the story so that you can then relate the story as it goes. If I say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's a song, by the way. I'm not saying what's happening on Monday. I'm not saying what's happening on Tuesday. But then you could be going through a divorce. You could be going through a funeral. Perhaps you could be going through birthday celebration. And then the song will make sense. Not only when you're doing a particular thing. So I always try not to put characters, but it's the stories that are happening on our daily basis. I will say, Wang Meselubala, what's wrong? Why have you made me wait? But I'm not saying, baby, yung Meselubala, or my boss promised me a raise. That's how I tell my stories.
Would you say that you demand the attention of your audience? You demand the interest of your audience. You demand the curiosity of your audience to work out those subtleties that you've just described?
If I get you thinking through my music, if I get you engaged through my music, I've done my job. I seriously do.
Fantastic. So this experience on the 15th of August, I mean, it's a one-night only performance. So in a way, yes, there's music, but it's more than a concert, I think.
It's more than a concert. It's an experience. I try by all means to take my audience through the journey of emotion. You will think of your childhood. You will think of where you are now. You will think of your existence. You will think of the biggest question in life. Why are we here? Where are we going? What is our future? You will think about eternity, and you will ask many questions about yourself as you go through the music.
I said in my introduction the idea of the weight of remembering, right? But I also talked about the hope of healing. It's one thing to record something in a studio away from the people who are seeing and hearing you perform it. How do you bring all those elements in front of an audience? That vulnerability of yourself, really?
I think I take from the energy of the room. That's one thing that is very important. You learn over time to feel the energy of the room. Who is in the room? What vibrations are going through the room? But the message is a message of hope, like you've just said. It's a message of love. It's a message of universal love. Through love, with love, we can be a better people.
One of the things I love about storytelling is the element of surprise. I always think that's a part of the trick, right? How are you going to surprise us next week?
It's the theme. It's the theme of the show. It's the costuming. It's the actual set. Actually, my audiences look forward to those things, and I keep them for them. I don't tell them.
Under wraps. You won't even tell me. I won't tell anyone.
You won't tell anyone. Okay.
No, it's
I don't trust
the
this
15th,
back.
No. The 15th of August at the iconic Market Theatre next week, Friday. You can get your tickets from CompuTicket. The Market Theatre, by the way, is very strict with its timekeeping. So 7 o'clock, the doors will close, whether you are seated or not. So make sure your tickets are bought on time and that you are there to see Sfiso Khanyile on time. Singer, songwriter, storyteller. One night only at the Market Theatre next week, Friday.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
All right, as we wrap up the show, it is a Friday, and I do have a note from my producers. So if you're watching the YouTube stream, by the way, we often have producers coming in and out, and a lot of people have wanted to see what they look like. So Siyamthanda Matis, I think you're about the only one who is left. And we thought we'd take this moment. Have a seat. It's not feedback. We thought we'd take this moment as a team to wish happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
This is so cool. Thank you so much.
Do you think we forgot?
No, I really thought you guys forgot. I thought Amo was the only one because she's been singing since 4 o'clock
do you know how
in
we've
the
been
morning.
ragging her? So as the show starts, Amo wishes Sia a happy birthday. We're like, why are you spoiling our surprise? Now Amo is going to be the only one. She's going to think Amo's the only one who remembered.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is so sweet, guys. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. What a way to celebrate my 32nd or 32 chapter.
Siyamthanda Matis, of course, a valued member of our team, her 32nd birthday today, and we just wanted to say happy birthday.
Thanks, guys.
From us, and I would say all of 702 Landers who listen to 702 Breakfast. You're a special part of our team, and we appreciate everything you do for this show.
Oh,
happy
thanks,
birthday.
Bongs. Thank you so
Are you
much.
going away on a dirty long weekend?
Listen, I'm going to the women's celebration.
At the DP Wanderers.
Yeah.
All right, that brings us to the end of this edition of 702 Breakfast. Thank you to everyone who listened. Thank you to everyone who live streamed on YouTube, but of course also listening to us on DSTV channel 856. Everybody who's got the Prime Media Plus app streaming us that way. You have yourselves a fantastic weekend. It's 9 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The South African Chamber of Commerce in the US says the country's position as a gateway for American companies into Africa is now at risk, highlighting knock-on effects of US tariffs. President Donald Trump's steep 30% tariffs for a wide range of South African products entering America kicked in yesterday. In a statement, the Chamber says it has received reports from exporters experiencing cancelled contracts, delayed shipments, and rising